magic is imagination. We are moving into an age of manifestation. Things become actually less material, more ethereal. The golden dawn is when we awaken to this new station of life. What you think becomes real quicker. Regain our imagination, regain our inner child, and let that inner child out.
My name is Frank Castle, founding member of the music group Heist Click and New York City Neo Shaman. After a serious injury sidelined my career in 2013, I decided to set out on an adventure to search for myself with the help of the plant medicine Ayahuasca. What I discovered waiting for me was something I could have never prepared for. It was time for me to become something more, someone more. It was time I became fearless. In the darkest of nights, gonna let my light shine as my heart beats a rhythm with space and time. When the light starts to shine inside your third eye, you awake to the knowledge that you never die. I'm becoming fearless. Greetings, everyone. It's your main man right here, your sorcerer supreme, Frank Castle, host of Fearless. Thanks so much.
I'm here too and just doing something.
For joining us tonight. I'm joined by my ethereal translator and co-host, Paula Milo.
Be there in a second.
Who's officially on roll detail. Shut up, Frank. Hold on one second. I want to see if this works.
If what works? What are you doing? Oh, Luna, there you are. Good girl, Mama. Good girl.
I think I fixed the lighting issue.
You look handsome.
Why, thank you. There's a crazy leg. I don't know what's going on tonight. We have all kinds of silly issues going on again. But it's okay. I've been upgrading and going crazy like everyone else. So quick shout outs to everybody in the group. Hey, my man KG in the group. Son. What's up, son? The Paranormal Portals. Lisa, Lexi, Michael, Ruben, Ellen.
Hey,
Ellen, Sphinx, and everyone that's coming to join us. I want to give you a shout out. I love you very much. Thank you for joining us. I do see the leg. Interesting. I see it on the screen.
What do you think? What is that?
I don't know. It's got to be the electronics or something. Yeah, it's slightly off as I'm talking. Don't know why that is. Not even going to try to figure it out. How's that sound?
Mama.
I hope that during this time everybody's been grounding and fight just broke out.
Fresh girl. Get out of there, you freshie.
Wow, you're out. I'll throw you out of the house on your fat ass. No, I saw that. She was a little fresh. Everyone's been acting a little bit out of character lately. It's kind of a little short here tonight.
Sorry, everyone. I'm here. I'm just doing stuff off camera.
You be no taller than me.
Luna went outside. The cat that lived under the bed all those months. She went outside in the middle of the night, and she didn't come back until 5 o'clock this morning. And when she came in, it must have been an adventure because I didn't see her all day, and she just came out like 3 minutes ago, literally.
We're gonna try something because I know Paul is a little low.
No. I'm gonna. Yeah. Oh yeah. Fix me. I'm gonna be there in 2 seconds. I just want to make
check
sure
1 2.
Luna,
we're working through stuff, so just kind of hang in there with us. I don't know if it's too loud or too low or too this or too that.
Someone will tell us. That I know. Someone will tell us. Sorry. I feel so much better now.
You do feel good, right?
Yeah, no. You know what? I needed it.
So I noticed this week, right, that the shit's been progressively hitting the fan. More and more.
In what respect?
What respect? People getting in trouble.
Oh, in the media.
In the news.
Yeah.
By the way, we are the news. I want to say a few things right now and just get it off my chest. You're the news. Me, you, everyone else out there that actually wants to find out news. It's on you now. It's you and it's me and it's Paula and it's your friends. It's your family. People are starting to come around. In those moments.
I'm sorry. Did I
No,
okay.
no. I was making room for you.
Oh, thank you. Oh, this is for me.
Hopefully it's yummy.
Oh, you might.
So as this goes on, remember, people are going to start. Don't look for the I told you so moment. That's a waste of your time.
Yeah, that passed because I wanted to do that 10 times and that passed.
We're going to discuss it tonight because you could shit in one hand and wish in the other and see what happens first when it comes to this. That's irrelevant. 100%. You already know, if you've been following this for however many years, or if you've been part of the ascension process the whole time. I mean, we all are, but with your awareness of it, where, you know, I mean, I'm going back for myself a long time. We're going to go back. We're going to see that 9/11 was an inside job, right? You're going to see that it's more than Epstein. It's going to be your favorite people, my favorite people that I thought were favorite because I watched this thing that tells me, look at me. And then I find something I enjoy on it. Boom, I'm sucked into it just like everyone else. And sitting right there is where the distraction occurs, right? The wool has been pulled over all of our eyes. No one is better off than anyone else. There's those of us that are getting into position and into place because it's what we signed up to do. To be the airbag so you don't break your neck. So you don't throw yourself off the building this time. Right? We know how crazy people can be. We know that there's paid riots and domestic terrorism right now. We know that the political system, and I don't want to hear you, well, we've always known this. Well, you're always voting, right? So now something different's happening. Okay. So yeah, we've all been part of it one way or another, and we all know, we get it. However, the ones of us that are been ahead of the game, I was talking about this outside to a buddy of mine, a young guy who's been working through his magic. Everyone else around him's not. So he's been separately doing it. And I started talking to, he brought a few friends over and he was asking some questions. And I said, you got to be careful in these moments because how much is too much, right? It's already a lot, right? You don't have to make anything up and you don't have to stretch the truth out at all. You just got to say it as it is. But the minute I add like reptilians to it, or once I add, certain characters to it, right? Or including someone they might like or appreciate or hold in some regard. Now it's just too much. So keep that in mind when you're like, oh yeah, it goes from the Vatican doing the pedophile thing to reptilians, right? That screws people up really bad.
See, the thing is that whether or not you choose to believe it, it's all related because that's just the way it is. So anything dark and nefarious, no.
That's my line. That's my word.
But it is
nefarious.
It's dark and nefarious. So it's all related. Trafficking, pedophilia, all of those
the dark magic,
crimes against humanity. They're all related, and it's been going on for a very long time. There was something posted. I mean, these things have been going on with particular people since 2004. But they couldn't find judges to. No.
Well, the judges are in the pocket.
I know.
What they do is they somehow take the victim and charge them. Yeah. See, we're in the upside down.
Yeah.
Before we go any further, shout outs to Ra. Ra's in the house from Eye of Ra, True Frequency Radio.
And Willow.
One at a time. One at a time. We got to work some magic here. You got to check out Ra's Tensor Tools. I've been doing this every show. right? I'll put up the website later, but bong, I got mine right here. I had to take it off because I was a mess before and I got it stuck on something. I don't want to break it.
Very effective.
Hyper effective. And I was explaining to Rod, I jumped in the water with my mother the other day, but that didn't sound quite right. We were in the pool and I had mine on, and it was almost dizzying for me at first. And then it became hyper cleansing. And I think it cleansed the pool too.
I'm sure it did.
The energy that comes off these are hyper intense. He's got all different kinds, all different shapes, over at the Mystical Spiral store. I'll put up the links in a little bit. And I love you, buddy. My brother Ra, he's the best. So shout outs to Willow in the house. What happened to you online this week? Did you disappear for a moment? I went to go check on you when you weren't there. Hopefully everything's all right and all good. Maybe you're just changing out your profile pic, but we love you. Thank you very much, and sending you positive vibes. Paul is still working on your little bit of magic.
Yeah, I needed.
I will let you know when everything's up and good.
I need to find a little bit of magic to create a little bit of magic.
And shout outs to, hold on a second. Shout outs to Robert Hawley, my dude. So I just literally watched you.
Oh yeah, we were just watching it.
It ended the minute before the show was going to start.
Weird.
Somehow I just turned on the computer, looked up, was trying to work through problems. Boom, there's Robert. I thought that was the one that was up there, and I'm like, nah, it's a little dark.
My God, my mind.
Then it just said, ooh, right now, and I said, I gotta watch this, and you were like, oh, this is the pregame.
That's nice.
And I said, yeah, here it goes. So Robert does really good meditations, like hyper good. He's fun. He's enlightening. He's a fresh of breath air.
They help. They help.
And then we have people like Tiffany in the group. She's doing Reiki on people. And she just offers it. You join in on the video. You put your name in there. She shout outs to you. It's like a thing waiting there for you.
Yeah, that's a beautiful thing. She just gives her stuff away. Like
the leaders. Maybe the leaders isn't the word.
Thank you.
Those who are coming online are really coming online. Right? Those who are there to help or provide something they understand or a service they know will be helpful, then you can opt in or opt out. It's so beautiful. Rob's really good at it. So calming. You hear this guy's voice, you lose it. And then if you enjoy a little taste of hip hop while with your meditation, he's nailed it. He's literally,
definitely.
He's nailed it.
I love to listen to his stuff. He makes me happy.
I'm like, wow, this is great. So those of us who are rising, who are teaching, who are letting it out, putting it on the table, showing others, stepping up to the plate, those of us, there's a couple coming to see me on Monday, and it's time to jump back into the ayahuasca model of things.
Oh yeah, I'd like everyone to wish them well for Monday. If you guys could do that,
yeah,
that would be great.
All right. So once again, and I'll have this couple is someone I'll be able to have on the show eventually.
Yeah.
Because they talk. They're just like us. They're just late to the game, but not right. We discussed people showing up with need
at the right time.
It's the right time. Yeah. Because they've put it off for so long or missed the opportunity, didn't know you were there. Once again, they were like, oh, we heard you on Truth Frequency, on TFR, and then your voice, I was like, that's the dude we're drinking with, right? To find out that I actually am the shaman that does that, living, where I live in New York and everything. So the synchronicities are hyper, hyper awesome. So I've been discussing with them deeply. Everyone has questions, right? What am I going to see? How am I going to do this? What is this? Is this really this? And I was told this, and I was told the difference between the show and what we do and what makes us out there is that we come forward with it. That's really it. We enter the story. You hear the stories, right? And you're like, these are amazing, right? And then you listen to the next guy and the next girl, and you hear things about Mars and inner Earth and bases and UFOs and cryptozoology and things in inner Earth and extra dimensional and interdimensional, and it's all inside you, and you're the projector, and it's all inside your third eye. The stories are great, right? And I feel it in my heart. It's great. But when do you come online and step into the story? When is it your turn? When do you turn the next page of the comic book and boom, you come showing up through the door, and then your name enters the room and you're like, oh, and then all the characters are in the room are like, they always do that picture in the comics, right? When like Wolverine pops up out of nowhere, like you weren't expecting him. And they're like, who's the character in the darkness? And he comes out and he's, hey, what's up, bub? And you're like, oh shit, it's Wolverine. Like, and Spider-Man or Batman or whoever the fuck needed you at that moment. Needed someone, but they thought it was the next thing, right? Oh, here it comes again. And boom, the cavalry arrives. But it's Wolverine.
I am
very... And it's like, but that's the cavalry. It's the hero you need, not the hero you want.
I am very curious because since Frank started making the Aya for this couple that's coming, and I believe that they're a lovely couple. I believe that they're lovely human beings, truly. But I told Frank specifically not to tell me anything about them and what they're working on. And he's been talking to them almost every day.
So wait, I want to caveat something because somebody just reminded me. So
yeah.
Della woke up today and said to me, so I'm listening to random stuff on YouTube. So stuff's just playing one after another.
Yeah.
And you're on and we're listening. I'm listening to you. And Joe comes in the room and goes, what are you listening to? And he's, oh, I guess I'm listening to Frank or whatever. They see what episode it is because they never heard it before. Right. And it was August 3rd, 2019.
No way.
They're coming August 3rd, 2020. Wait.
That's so wild.
So they're like, and it's a full moon. So they're like hyper tuned in to that moment. Doors open again. Right. It's it's like those moments that then the door closes up. I'm going to have to forget about that. Go back to work, start dealing with stuff again.
Yeah.
And then boom. Oh, I have an opportunity for ayahuasca. The door opens and you don't realize it, but you're walking. It's like there's no coincidence in this one.
No.
You're being led directly into the front door.
Well, this is what we talk about, right? When you're not pushing that boulder uphill and you can just, you put a plan together and you're successful and it just works and all the pieces come together and you're finding that everything you need is just falling into place. And it's funny because like I said specifically, I didn't want to know anything because since the day Frank started making the Aya, I started purging. Now I don't know. Oh, thank you, Alan. I slept all day. I have been purging since the first brew went on the stove, and because nothing is random. So now I don't know if it's a parallel with what I happen to be purging or if I'm helping them and purging for them as well, because it happened with the last session that we had. We started purging a couple of days before.
Yep.
And
well, they called us. We spoke about this last week. As soon as I turned the Aya on, they were like, "What the hell's going on?" They hit me up and said, "Dude, I'm going to the bathroom. I can't sleep."
Purging.
Yeah. I'm like, "No, it started."
Because it's very difficult because Aya is not really like anything else. Like you really don't know until you do drink what it's like. And did you say
no? Okay. I saved the day.
Frank set himself on fire. You really can't compare it to anything else. And again, I'm not pushing it. I'm not telling anyone that they should run out and do it because it is not for everyone. Everyone should do it, but it is not for everyone. So until you experience it, a lot of the conversations and a lot of the things that the common experiences that people share can't really be understood until it happens to you.
Yeah.
And it's just the way it is. There's no other way around it. There's no getting around it. It's just something that can't be understood.
Well, I was explaining it to them. Oh, go ahead.
No. But people think, oh, I'm drinking Aya, and at the moment of taking the drink, that's when the experience happens. But that's not it. It's the moment that you make the decision to drink Aya that the experience starts taking place and starts affecting you. The universe starts pulling everything that you need in order to line things up so that you can have a safe and a optimal experience. So, and everyone who has had the drink will understand this. So this beautiful couple started purging as soon as Frank started putting up the Aya, because they didn't realize that as soon as they decided to drink, the decisions are already lining up. The universe is lining up. The stars are lining up. It happens to be a full moon. Everything is unfolding and laying out exactly the way it's supposed to. And that is the beauty in the Aya. It's everything that leads up to it. It's the process while it's happening and everything that happens after. It's not just at the moment that you drink. It's the entire process. And you know, it's funny because Frank and I were purging together and then purging separately. So we've been doing a lot of cleaning, like internal cleaning.
Yes.
For this experience. So
I think it's relevant because
this is much bigger than
if
us.
you say something like, I'm you and you're me and we are all, then you're helping yourself. And
oh, of course.
That's basically all you're doing.
Yeah, it's just this specific time, the time that they picked to drink, the time that we're living in. I think this is going to be a very significant purge, and I think it's going to be
this isn't.
Don't be surprised. I think it's going to be a fearless purge, a group purge.
Experiences with other psychedelics in life.
Oh no! I'm sure.
So they were hint by hint being shown. So one thing I want to say about couples, I love for those of you who decide that we're leveling up together. This is what we're doing.
Because it's not easy.
Well, it's not even that it's not easy. Check this out. So if one person's agreeing to it and trying to gain an understanding, and the other person's has an understanding of it already, don't be like, well, I'm here and you're there. Paula and I, we have our moments, okay? But the idea is, if I'm the visual and she's the feeler, right? Like I'm seeing and she's getting all the other relative senses. She has, her in her internal structure already has a faith-based system that's indestructible. She says to you, well, this is what's going on and you should just walk through and just know. It's very easy, simple. And then someone like me is like, there's got to be something wrong with this bullshit, right? And then I witness it and I'm like, oh, she's right. However, I take my path to get there. But then when I get there and I'm like, hey, Paula, did you know? And she's sitting there already. And she's like, well, yeah. I'm just, I told you that, right? And it wasn't an I told you so. It was more of a comforting.
Yeah. Trust me.
Trust me. We're here.
Yeah.
We're already there doing it. There's no there out there. It's right here.
Yeah.
Right now. In the moment. And yes, of course it's us. So there's this gentle, dare I say, motherly or instructional or teacher-like, a really good teacher as well, as a friend and a confidant and all that other stuff. You can look at the person and be like, yeah, dummy, I told you that. Or you can be like, welcoming in the way, all right, I know I told you 100 times, 1,000 times to have faith. And now you're witnessing it. Well, I'm not going to be up in your shit and be like, oh, finally, you're fucking here. That's terrible.
Nope.
Terrible.
Nope.
You have to work off each other. You close the circuit with the infinite sign or the 8 symbol turned sideways. So I see something. Paula, I saw this. And she's like, yes, of course, you need to have faith. It's all there. Okay, it comes back. Well, I wonder what's happening and why they're there. Well, it's all got to be there or none of it can be there. You see, and we just go back and forth. And I saw this. And I don't go, because I saw this, no, you're wrong.
No.
Because you felt it. Like, no. It's just situational. And then we come at it from the left. We come at it from the right.
Yeah. Now they're
all 5 senses are being used plus your 6th sense.
Yeah. They're drinking as a couple. Now they, and Frank has gone through this with them. And this is just for everyone else. It's
Toby,
wonderful.
thank you so much.
Yes, thank you. That's very sweet. Thank you.
My fearless Toby.
You can drink.
We love you.
As a couple, you can drink with a friend. You can have a group experience. It does not necessarily mean it's going to be a shared experience. It does not necessarily mean that
you're going to see the same things.
You're going to see the same things, that you're going to have.
Everyone grew up different.
Similar experiences. One might be external, one might be very internal. Drinking as a couple is wonderful, but there are things that you're going to work on that are private and specific.
You're going to heal yourselves, right? So as an individual, your partner will be right next to you going through their own thing. There might be shared moments. There might not be.
Right, but you're there to fix yourself.
You're there to fix you. So, you're not there to fix your relationship. You're not that shouldn't. You want to fix your relationship? Fix you.
Right, fix you.
Fix you. So
being in a shared experience is difficult for a lot of people, because people assume because you're in a shared experience that everything is going to be shared, that all of the knowledge should be shared. And that's not always the case. There are going to be things that you're working out that you didn't even know were an issue. I may show you something from another person's point of view or another scenario that you didn't even think of. You might not find words, and I've talked about this 100 times on the show. I've had experiences still from 2016, 2017 that I cannot put into words, because I did not make a direct connection to what those experiences were tied to yet. And Frank in the beginning would get very frustrated. What do you mean? Tell me what you saw. Tell me what happened. And it's like, look, I still don't have words yet. And, this very well might happen to them. And they have to know that it's okay. Like, it's okay.
Everything's okay.
Yeah.
All modalities are fine.
Yeah.
This is the potential in you working with the potential of others.
Right.
That's it.
Right.
There are no levels. There are those of us who are just going through it at the speed we go through it. Why? Because we're contracted to do that.
Right.
Why? Because some of you motherfuckers are not waking up. So we wake up first, right? And then when the shit hits the fan and you're like, I go, calm down. Check this out.
Right.
Because when we become the news, because you all are, we're there for that. No, mom, calm down. Check this out. They've been saying this the whole time. This is completely understood. We just haven't been understanding it because the information hasn't been available to us, because the black box on the TV, the people that own everything on the TV are not going to show you that shit.
Oh yeah.
They're just never going to do it.
So,
just
you have
like
to find
the pharmacy's never going to heal you.
Yeah, the pharmacy's never going to say, "Don't." You know what?
Just take this one pill and you're going to be healed for life.
You aside and say, "You know what? You don't need this prescription. All you need to do is go down that aisle and find some magnesium and find some of this and find
some vitamin D. Get in the sun. Go for a jog.
Yeah, and make a cream and rub it on you. Like they're not going to do
push-ups.
that. So you really have to
weird stuff.
Yeah, you have to take it into your own hands now. And I admire people that are willing to do that, because everyone knows how I'm scared. Like the Aya, not fearful.
Joe, we're only using you guys as an example.
Right. Don't worry about anything.
We're not.
Don't you worry.
Into your life
don't you worry
now.
About anything.
Yeah. We're just using it as the jump off of the conversation, because you guys are us.
It's beautiful.
It's beautiful. Right there.
Taking the time.
And this opens the door for you to step through. Okay. The comic book, this was the ref, and here comes Joe, right? Wolverine just shows up. You're like, holy shit. Well, it's about fucking time you showed up. We needed you, right? The other piece of the puzzle, the other beings that sit at the table need to be there. Who are those people? Soul family.
Right.
That's all we were getting at.
Okay.
No, I'm done.
Oh, you're done?
Yeah, sorry.
Okay. No. I just think it's a beautiful thing, because, we were talking about it last week. Trying to make time for yourself is hard. Trying to make time in the morning for myself. And I'm spoiled. I have as much responsibility as I choose to put on myself.
And she has a lot, by the way.
I can work my day in any order that I choose, and finding the time for just me in the morning, because Frank and I take care of a colony of cats, which is just, that in itself is just ridiculous. And for me, and I can do anything I want, anytime I want, finding time in the morning for me, just for myself, is very difficult. I mean, I do it. Eventually I do it, but it's never the way I want it done. It's always the way the day presents it to me. It's never what I want. And
you have to be, like Bruce Lee said, be like water. You have to fill the glass
you have to,
of the shape of that day,
yeah,
and be able to just, okay, the list has to go in reverse.
Yeah, and I adapt. And you know what? I adapt, and I can fight it and be a fool and push it and force it and push that boulder uphill, but that's just going to make it terrible. Or I can just kind of go with the ebb and the flow of what is happening. But in the morning, it's so hard, just even for me to find the time to do what I want to do. So I admire people that are taking the time to fix themselves, because it's hard. There are so many distractions. There's so much to do. There's so much responsibility. Frank and I the other day had to go to Costco. Now, we haven't gone to Costco since March or April, since this whole Corona thing really kicked off. We went to, and we've been avoiding it, the club stores. We've been hitting like Target or like doing everything we can to avoid the club stores. But now we were like depleted. We were down to like the last of everything. So we put a plan together. We put a gigantic list together. We got doubles and triples of everything that we could.
Biggest shopping bill I've ever seen.
Biggest shopping bill ever. But that's, I don't even want to talk about it, because then forget it. It has nothing to do with the money, but we had to gear up to go, because we liked the idea of not having to go to a clubhouse, right? Like where
we
a lot
don't want
of
to
people
come back until we absolutely need to.
Right. So,
because I don't want to be here wasting my time doing this.
So
when I could do it once.
So we
see you in 3
prepared.
months.
We prepared spiritually. We're prepared physically. We had everything ready. We had a list ready. We had 2 shopping carts. We were focused. We were driven. We had eye contact. He was down one aisle. I was down the other. We had call signs. We were making sure we got everything. Get in the car. Everything's fine. Get in the house. Get everything unloaded. Break down all of the food to pack it up in the freezer. It was an entire day. So Frank and I looked at each other, and I was like, I'm so glad the adulting is over. And he was like, it feels like we lived 2 days in this one day. And I was like, I know. But now the major part of the adulting for today is done. Now that's it. Once everything gets packed up and broken down and put away, now that's it. There's no more responsibility. So he woke up today and he was like, I feel like I lost a day this week. And I was like, no, that's because we doubled up on the adulting that one day. But that's what it's like, and it's funny because I could do anything I want and I still have responsibilities in the morning, and it's just the way it is. So you adapt, you roll with it, right? Like, we don't know what's going to happen next week. We don't know I've never purged so much. I have purged, and it's funny because Ellen says this, it's nothing is random, and it's not random. I've been purging issues that I thought I dealt with, but again, I think it's seeing it from another perspective, and I'm very curious.
All right.
Adulting is hard. It is hard, and it sucks.
It's
and I
part
don't
of the
like
deal,
it.
though.
It's part of the deal.
Right? Self-responsibilities, right? Can I wipe my ass? Can I fucking stuff my face with liquid and solid? Can you? Do you have the stuff to wash this stuff? Do you have the stuff to add energy to this stuff? Do you have food for other things so they can biologically move on?
Can I pay my bills on time at the end of the month? These
whoa.
are things like,
Can I handle my own?
Yeah. Right? Can you handle it?
So
can you? And if you can't, that's okay too.
I always prefer to get everything done. And if I have $1 in my pocket, I'm smiling.
That's how I am.
So the dollar is just a metaphor for the positive step in the right direction. I'm good, because if all the bills are paid and everyone's got food and it's going to be a while before anyone needs anything,
then there you go. That's it.
Then it allows the opening. Okay, it's good. You're good. I'm good. Okay, now you get to live.
Yes, nothing is random, Ellen. Nothing is random. So I'm very curious, because the purging that Frank and I have done, and the purging that we think this
Oh,
couple is going to do.
Ellen, I got your text before we passed out like in the middle of the day.
Yeah, I took a
so
nap.
we didn't get back.
Yeah,
to,
so we'll definitely catch. Definitely,
we'll catch back up
good.
after the show and stuff.
But you know, I'm very curious to see what the what I'm hoping that they get whatever they need to get out of it.
But see, here's the thing: we all, whatever the unlock for whatever character shows up, that unlock goes, then their puzzle piece goes up into the now moment, kind of.
Oh yeah,
bringing more information online, and information is power.
Absolutely.
You know, knowledge is power. So the more your people that are there, the more of all people that are there in that now moment, knowing that there's something happening more.
You know, but it's so beautiful.
Brings more to the table.
It just shows. Right? It just shows me constantly how we really are connected. Do you know what I mean? Like there is a connection. You know, it's not just this thing that's going to happen and they're going to have this experience and they're going to go home. It's just like when Rudy was here.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you make these connections whether you want to or not, whether you think you are or not, and you're forever connected. And it's this beautiful network of people. No one ever has to say anything to anyone, but I know, because I've seen it in the group, if someone has a question or a problem, someone else is always ready with an answer. And it's a beautiful thing because everyone wants to feel good. Everyone
here's the
wants
good thing
to
too.
Be better.
You're it's like you finally find those people, and this is what I was getting at the very beginning of the show when I was saying, you know, people ask a lot of questions. They want to know, but when do you enter the story? And then boom, it occurs. And there's this entrance in, and you're like, and it's epic, no matter how you look at it.
Right. It's like a secret society almost.
Almost. Yeah. Well, you know,
but not in a bad way.
The ancients said, keep the knowledge secret for those that don't understand, fucking kill you, because they'll think you're doing some black magic, even if you're just upgrading and meditating. Oh, you were dancing outside naked? Hang her, she's a witch. No, I literally just... They would have hung me on day one. I just walk around the way I walk around. I'm just going to dry myself right by the fan. In front
I
of the
remember
window.
The first time you called me. It was a couple of years ago. It had to be like 27. I'm still working. It was like 2017 or 2016, and you were naked outside, and your grandfather was like, "Put some clothes on and come on in." And you were like, "No, I'm laying outside naked."
No, I said to him, "You go back inside, old man. Watch yourself." And he looked at me. He said, "Shut up. You're gonna upset your grandmother if she sees you."
You were in your yard naked, and I was like, "Well, good for him." And you know, it's funny too because
I couldn't take it no more.
It's very funny because
I understand when they say people run out of their house naked and they lose their shit. Like, I'm God. I get it.
But
I just would never do that. But
because you
I get
never
it.
want to wear clothes, right? And now I understand.
You don't realize how safe you are as a human being naked. You have no idea how safe you are.
What do you mean safe? Like,
okay, so
what do you mean by safe?
So inside of me, my internal function to get me naked is like one of the hardest things to do. You might not think it because it's me and you. But for me to go out, listen to me.
That's what you say. But since the day I met you
when I roll into the Coliseum, when I roll into Source, I don't pick weapons and choose things and go, I just drop everything. And I'm like, I'm curious how this is going to work. I'm entering the Coliseum. They're like, choose your weapon. I'm like, I am
the weapon.
No, I am.
Mm-hmm.
There's literally nothing in there that's going to, it might surprise me for a minute, but there's nothing in there I can't handle.
Right.
So I walk in and they're like, well, you got to take something. So I take my wands with me. And they're like, you realize you're walking into the Coliseum with magic wands and you're naked. I go, yeah, you should be nervous.
The key word is magic. All I need is my mind.
So whenever anything presents itself, if they're like, raw, I'm like, yo, you should be nervous right now. I literally am about to walk right through the flames of hell with nothing on. Nothing. And I'm comfortable. I'm really comfortable. Right? Who's going to come over here and give me a hug now? And you become safer than you've ever been because you realize you don't need anything. right? That's what I mean by being safe. I don't mean literally going outside, I'm safe, I'm naked, but in the nakedness of your soul, bearing your soul during these moments, you get so comfortable with yourself. How many of you can say, I don't hate myself enough to do that? I love myself. I love me. I love me so much, right? That I'm so comfortable with myself to do something like that. Now, doesn't mean I'll go sit on a nude beach and I don't go ever look to do that. But if it's just me and Paula hanging out or just me by myself, I will just absolutely do that. Absolutely.
See, I didn't know that about
And
you.
I'm hyper
before.
comfortable in my skin.
I
I'm
thought
not
you were
uncomfortable. I
always
just
like
wish my
that.
knees worked better, my neck worked better, my back. But we're getting there. Right? You can't just snap the fingers and do it yet because it would blow your fucking mind. Right? As Josh would say, you'd blow your load too soon. You're panned in too far. You're going to fuck yourself up, dude. It's like, well, we're always the earth flat or is it round? I don't know. Where are you looking at it from?
Right.
And perfect answer.
Right.
Where are you looking at it from? Because there's really no wrong anymore. There's no. How do I know what's going on in your fucking head? You're programmed differently than me.
Yeah, but
We're just agreeing that there's a wall with a skull thing on with a little shiny thing and that this lady's name is Paula. We're just agreeing to that shit. Right? But every time I say, hey, did you see that? You put 10 people right there. We all see the same fucking thing. There's an elephant in front of us. I get fucking 10 answers. Maybe 3 of them are straight up, oh yeah, it's an elephant. The rest of them are like, well, it's gray, it's big. It's a fucking elephant.
Can't
right?
be an elephant.
Yeah,
Why can't it be an elephant?
Why can't it be a llama? Why, right? Right? Why can't it be a raccoon? Because it's not a fucking raccoon. That's why. Well, I want it to be a pancake. This is what I mean. Everyone's going to say something because it's visually different from their perspective.
What you allow yourself to believe.
So
right.
We could all be sitting in different frequencies speaking to about the same object and no one's seeing, but we're agreeing. Oh, you see that? Yeah, I see that. Right. Okay, so the guy with the red shirt ran by and kicked the guy in the blue shirt in the nuts. Right. Then the cops come and go, can we take the report? Well, you see, there was this gray shirted guy and he ran up and it's like, well, it was a red shirt. Kicked the blue in the nuts. That was it. Right. But no, that's not how you remember it. It was all this other shit you remember. Right. So it's always fucking something different. That's why eyewitness testimony to a certain degree isn't really that good.
Nope.
Right. Because I could fucking trick you by going, hey, you see this in my hand? And then bump you and go, it's right here the whole time. Right.
Because
like,
you remember what you think.
And you're
you
like,
saw.
oh, this fucking
you
dude
do.
is magic. I'll be like, dude, that's called the looky-loo. We've been doing that since,
Because everybody puts their opinion into something.
Right.
So if you saw something and you have to give a description of something you saw.
Oh, that's really good.
You're not just going to give a description of what you saw. You're putting your opinion and your scenario in your description because we think and feel for other people all the time. So that's the problem.
Right. And we always see some story and some storyline that enters our mind.
Right.
And then well, he punched him. So obviously he's the villain.
Right.
And then
you don't know what happened.
Right. That guy could have just raped someone and he just came up and punched him trying to, you're not getting away. And then all this other shit happened. But meanwhile, you're like telling the report going, yeah, so this bad guy here
because it's your
punched that older dude.
Because you put your opinion in it.
Yeah. And you have no fucking clue what's going on.
Right.
Once again, we're dressing the truth and the facts up in suits and ties and
clowns. So now when you have these Aya experiences, there is none of that.
Yeah, you're naked.
They strip it down naked and they make you see it until you understand it. And if you don't, then they make you see it
again,
and they make you see it from a different angle and they make you see it from someone else's perspective. And it's a very eye-opening experience because you're forced to look at things but you're stripped down. So you're forced to look at things very truthfully, whether you realize it or not. And that's the part that's really hard for people. You're forced to look at things and leave all of the perspective out of it. You're just looking at it for what it is, for the pure truth that it is. And they're going to show it to you that way. And you're going to be amazed.
Right.
Because memory, what we tie to memories changes the perspective of how we look at how those memories have changed our lives. And that's the hard part. So when Aya makes you view something, you're looking at it without all of the emotion. You're just looking at the true act of what happened, or the true act of how you felt, or the true act of being, the way you felt in that situation, or whatever it is you need to work on. So it's like a pure emotion.
It was like me when they showed when I was a kid and I looked up in the window and saw the guy in the window. It looked like the dude in the frog outfit,
Right,
with the scuba eyes. And then my mother screamed. There's all the shit going on, so
Right.
you can't factually recall it properly because you're not
Right.
even seeing it right.
No, because too
And
much
then
happened.
Aya shows you, dude, there was an ET just standing there.
Exactly, because
And then he came in the fucking house and you guys were like,
yes, because she slows it down.
and you're
She
like,
changes
oh,
the
you fucking
she
kidding
changes
me?
the angle. You see it
So-
from all angles. It's
Right.
different. You see it in slow motion. You see it from everyone's perspective. You see it from how it was truly meant to be.
Yeah, you
played
see it from
out.
the perspective of him in the window, you looking at him
Exactly.
in the window, him
Yes.
looking at you in the window, and I'm like,
yes, and how your mother reacted.
yeah,
to
everything.
So-
if there was something in the room, a fly in the wall,
exactly
you
how the
experience
fly
from
in
that
the,
visual.
Yes, and that's the beauty of it, though, because there's a lot of things that did happen to us when we were younger that we were things that happened to us when we were younger that defined those defining moments that define who we are. A lot of those defining moments are not ours.
You
They're
know,
someone else's.
Della said this to me today. You know, you go back to the root of the problem and you think it's like all these other things.
Nope.
And then you realize you go back to
Nope.
when you were a child and someone said to you while you were sitting at the chair, you're a fucking dummy. You don't,
Right.
you don't know what 3 + 3 is, you
No.
fucking dummy.
No,
and
I'm
they like,
4.
and they
No.
might slap you in the back of the head or
Right.
do something shocking. And then you're like stunned for a moment. And then you're like, well, and it
Yes.
starts that internal
that-
whatever.
But that feeling,
That's where the problem
Yes,
started. So
that
you go back to that moment.
because it's that feeling of being stunned. It's like we talk about. It's like we use a dog bite as an example. If you were bitten by a dog, every subsequent feeling that you have about dogs came from the experience you had when you were bitten by that dog. Any subsequent feeling after that was devised after that trauma had already happened to you. So the idea is that the Aya comes in and makes you look at that trauma and helps clear and correct the neural pathways in your brain
From the point of the trauma.
to make you look and have more perspective, so that dog bite doesn't seem so horrific. And the dog bite is the example. It could be anything. If people are afraid of the color yellow, you know, it could be something that happened to you when you were a kid, and the color yellow.
I got flipped by a girl when I was 14. I didn't have sex. She said she was gonna have sex with me. She started doing stuff and then grabbed me and plop, dropped me on the floor. And she was 24 and she was a little chunky and she was able to not drop me. Like I couldn't get up. I was fucked up. And then she got on top of me and she was like holding me down. I ran out of there when I finally was able to escape, because at that point it was escape for your life. And then everything after that was a problem with every girl I was ever with. If there was going to be a sexual encounter right then and there on the spot. That's why anyone that knows me knows I don't just, you could hear all kinds of weird stories, and anyone that knows me knows I won't let some chick touch me on the first time. I won't let you do it because of that moment. So anyone that's like, yeah, I was in there fucking him and he was in there fucking all these people. Not true. Not true. I'm the one that would slyly back out of the room and just leave because of that moment. Right. So that's the shock moment. And I want to bring this around right now. That creates a fracture.
It does.
Okay. So you fracture at different levels.
That
right?
was a fracture.
So
for
if I
you.
hit you with a hammer, your crystal, a little fracture would be like a little problem. Maybe somebody just called you a dummy at the wrong time, and now you think you're a dummy a little bit.
Doesn't matter what it
during one
was.
point. Or there's the big fracture where somebody actually did something to you, like rape you or hold you down.
It doesn't matter what it was.
No, I'm just, yeah, I understand this, but there's a lot of, you're right.
They're
But
acts,
what it does is it
words and acts. Yes.
is like just more fractures of the main crystal, and those fractures,
Splinter.
they splinter and they cause other things to occur.
Yes.
Okay, so they happen on a small scale and they happen on a big scale. Well, what we're watching right now in the world today is the fracture is about to be viewed by the entire planet when it comes to pedophilia, when it comes to child trafficking, when it comes to who their heroes were that were, people on TV and stuff.
Right.
The fracture is there and it's large, and we have to look at it and heal it from the point of the fracture.
Oh, there's no healing yet.
No, we're not quite there yet.
Yes, that was a fracture from a long time ago. So now when people come to realize how deep and far this spider web really goes, they too will fracture, and that will splinter.
That's why we're here. We're to prevent more fracturing of the crystals.
So
to be
just
kind of blunt about it. I mean, it sounds kind of fantastical.
Things that are going to be told or are already being told or shown to people that they can't process. They're going to need help processing. So there's going to be no healing for a long time. This is going to be raw for a very long time.
Well, too,
it's like an exposed nerve, and this is just how things are going to be socially, politically. Like, it's just going to be a runner for a very long time.
Check this out. How does this make you feel when I say something like this? So, society, in quotes, right, shows you what it says you're supposed to be, and you watch a lot of horror movies, and there's a lot of crazy stuff that happens to people directly, right? And it causes this fracture, and it develops another personality, but that personality shows up in a super consciousness with everyone. So we all fracture, but then we go into the super conscious where I think the magic works, and they say, well, how is Hillary Clinton not in jail already? And how is this not there? And how are you guys cool with this? We fractured out so low without even realizing it, through maybe distractions and movies and what they tell us on TV and keeping us in fear. If you really believe in that fear, crystal cracks, creating like this weird kind of super domestic personality that'll follow government and start looking at things they see on TV as reality. But you're the creator. What are you doing? And it's like, well, they're fractured that far deep. It's like a fracture that everyone suffers, right?
It's programming,
but see, when you create an MK Ultra, right? Like, you'll beat, I won't use rape. You'll beat a victim, and then they jump out of their body to get away from everything, and then it fractures the personality.
Yes, absolutely.
So I'm talking about an etheric beating that fractures the personality, and to bring in a new personality for the entire culture of the entire place. So like the United States got fractured into one thing, like damage, because of what was.
Yeah, that's all the programming. They were It's not a fracture. It's programming. You choose to follow the programming.
Are you getting upset with me?
No. I'm taking your words. You're following the programming, or you're not following the programming. And either way, each side has a problem with it.
Well, they want a certain personality, and someone to arise, basically all the time, or when they say it. So to get an MK Ultra person to do that, you will beat them until the new personality comes out, and then you do some, Winter Soldier stuff. You read out of some book 10 words, and then they lose their shit and flip into the other character. They want that other. See, Winter Soldier was like fantastic. That's the super soldiers. But personality-wise, for the public, they want you like docile. So they fracture your personality. They get you so fractured that you're just, hey, what up, Paul?
That's what this whole thing. That's what this whole COVID-19 thing is. Everyone is fractured.
But it's a giant.
Okay, now they're
it's a big MK Ultra experiment.
They have posters telling you how you should have sex.
I forgot all about that.
Do you know? I mean, come on.
The glory hole thing. They really put that out.
This is it. This is the fracture. This is the programming. People are walking around and still eating up that.
They had government signs on how to have safe sex during COVID and not pass it to use a glory hole.
Do you have you posted it on Facebook? Do you have the, can you get it up?
Can I get it up?
On the screen.
On the screen for an extra 20, maybe.
Okay.
Hey, didn't I pay you $1 to touch your dick?
Oh, what movie was that?
BFS. This is the weirdest show sometimes, man. So one of the things, I had a dream the other night that I cursed way too much. And
I had a dream. I told you that.
and I felt really terrible for the people that listen. And I said, I like listened to myself. And then I was like, look, I can't be afraid of who I am. I was raised by Andrew Dice Clay, having a kid with Scarface, having a kid with the Beatles, right? That's what I was raised on after I was 7, right? So I can't help it. So me being on TFR and not being able to curse, and then coming over here and then not being able to really curse, like, I'm stifled at being really me. Do you want me to dress myself up to give you the truth, or do you want Frankie to give you the truth? I mean, the choice is optionally yours. It doesn't really fucking matter to me, right? What makes you feel better? Where on the page did he say the dirty, dirty words where it hurts you? In your mind, in your heart, your spirit? You could just change the fucking channel. It doesn't matter at that point. But I felt bad, and then I was like, should I be like that? Should I just come out and be like, greetings, everyone, and tell the story and be like more dialed down? Or do you want me dialed in? I don't know.
You know what I want.
I know what you want. Well, all right. You know what? So if you would have saw Paula before the show, about an hour before the show, no, right before I passed out, you were going off. You had it, not with me.
No, there's stuff I'm purging.
So she's going through some stuff, and she's just letting it out. But she's like,
"This is it. This is who I am. I'm sorry. I don't know.
Do I have to change? Yeah.
Yeah. Do I don't owe anyone anything.
So if I'm in the room with you, right? Should I have to dial me down?
Oh yeah, that's what I was saying.
And not be the real me to make you feel better
about you. So do I have to sit there and go like this and not say anything about who I really am, or comment?
Oh, don't say anything that you do shamanic work.
I really want, and don't mention that you're a shaman, and don't mention that you can help people,
and or that you helped heal anyone in any way, shape, or form with drugs.
Heal people, no, with your hands, not even with.
Well, I understand what you're saying. Sure, for sure.
And I said
that's even crazier because you're not using anything.
Because I put it all to bed. I said I'm not going to maintain these relationships with people if I can't talk about who I am, and I can't talk about the things that go on in my life, and I can't tell people about how I truly feel about things, because it's not sincere and it's not real. I won't come on this show and lie about something. I won't come on this show and not tell you how I feel. Why would I do that with people that are supposed to care about me? Like,
this is the point.
I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it.
I can't be fake. I can't play a role anymore. No masks. The idea is, look, I've been wearing a mask. It was called my name.
Through your life.
And then, that's the guy that developed. And then I had to strip that shit clean. Man, most of these fucking people don't want to hear that. Right? But I also don't want to be around anyone where I have to do that. And that includes family. I don't care how close you are to me. If you can't get me, you don't even have to come up to a level where we could meet and we could find things in common and stuff. However, I'm not going to play the short game with you. If I have to play the short game, I'm out, or you're out.
It's insincere, and
it does.
Frank and I can't.
There's no good quality to that.
But we can't talk about this once a week.
What, consciousness isn't a good conversation starter?
Yeah, about our consciousness, about how we choose to live our lives. And then I have to sit with people and I can't tell them anything about me.
But we have to listen to their shit the whole time on how we don't understand because we don't have fucking kids.
And it's not even that. And I can tell you that if you just change the way you think, none of that would happen to you anymore.
None of that
and
even
everyone's
matters.
like, oh, Paula, you don't understand. And it's like, yes, I do. Yes, I do understand.
No, you don't understand.
You see, the people that really know me know that I have suffered every type of discrimination there is. And if you want to ask me, you can ask me every kind of discrimination there is.
Yes, Della.
Okay, so
it's fixed by taking off all the masks and being
it doesn't
the best
even
you
matter.
That you can
But
be,
now,
and that's it.
If I have to,
we're that good.
If I have to pretend, or I have to sit there and say nothing the entire time, I'd rather not be there.
Well, isn't that technically
but
what I
it's
was
true.
just saying about me not cursing on the show and being the real
I know
me?
it's who you are. It's,
but it's the same thing you're saying.
It
Why should I have to
thing.
dial in and sit there?
Right.
I can't worry about what you're
Right.
afraid of. Like, oh, you're afraid of conversation. I'm not telling you what is real and how it's real and what you need to believe. I'm just talking.
I think that
if that hurts that much, then
no,
you need
but
a lot
I think
of work.
that for me in particular, I
that's when you drop. Well, we're in a fucking hologram. Eat that dick.
I am not
have fun projecting into the void.
I did a life in review and I thought about all of the times that I was specifically and purposely disrespected. And I don't deserve that. And I didn't deserve it then. And I certainly don't deserve it now. And, you know, thinking about not putting myself in those positions anymore, not setting myself up to be put in a position.
This is
like
some
that
serious
anymore.
stuff. Y'all need to listen to her when it comes to this, because she's in it.
I think that I was making peace with a lot of the decisions that I made to eliminate some people from my life. And, you know, this past week, there was a lot of reviewing the decisions that I had made and coming up with solid answers on why I made those decisions. And, you know, I was explaining to Frank, you know, there were situations where I did allow myself to be disrespected for the greater good because it was just easier than putting up the fight, or it was just easier than this, or it was just easier than that. And then I said to myself, well, because I did that, I set the tone for how people were going to treat me. And, you know, when you don't respect yourself enough, people don't have a reason to respect you. You know, and it ties perfectly in with the boundaries. And Ellen, thank you, because, you know, had we not had that talk, because Ellen and I had several talks. And it's funny because Ellen said something to me that my sister said specifically to me. They said the same thing. Two different people who do not know each other said the same thing to me about a particular situation. And I said, oh, it's coming from two places. You have to pay attention and listen. And I did. And I corrected my behavior. And since I've corrected my behavior, I felt great. I not even second guessing or thinking twice. But I think this purge was more purging the guilt that goes with that. So, you know, you can make a big girl decision and you can put your big girl pants on and you can talk the big girl talk. Okay. But until you actually do it and put it into practice, it doesn't count. But not only do you have to do it and put it into practice, after you've done it and you don't feel the guilt anymore, then you're good. And I think that's what I was purging this week, was all the guilt that was tied to that. Making the decisions, standing by them, and now not feeling guilty about them. Because, you know, we make decisions. You set boundaries, you make decisions. Other people have to play by the same rules. You have to apply the same rules to them as you do to yourself. That's the hard part. You know, when you decide to cut people out of your life, they're gone. You know, you can't have it both ways. And it really is something that you have to stick to. So it's for me in particular, it was letting the guilt go that went along with making those decisions. So now I can honestly say I don't feel guilt anymore, which was a big thing because I still felt a little guilty. I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't go back on my word. I wouldn't go back and
what let me just ask
it might be personal, but what is the guilty feeling? Like, could you point one out? What makes you feel guilty? I mean, would you like me to throw some at you?
No, just relationships. I was in relationships with
Is
a
it
lot of
because
these
of
people.
who these people are, like in terms of blood relatives or
No,
something?
some of them were blood relatives. Some
Or
of them were
just
even friends. Like,
how
for
many
example,
years you
no, for
spent?
my example, my friends. I mean, my friendships, I have friends with people for 25, 30 years. Do you know what I mean? And it's hard to walk away from friendships that are that old, you know? And I've had very close friends, like even going through the whole thing with the friends again, you know? I couldn't walk back into those relationships. I said, if I like, I was trying to set up a scenario. If I decided tomorrow I'm going to work on all my friendships, I know that everyone I call would be happy to have me back in their lives. I know it without question.
But would
They
you
would all
have
be
to? Would you have to subjugate yourself to bullshit?
I would have to change. I would not be able to say exactly.
So you'd have to
Yeah.
digress.
Yeah. Regress. Yeah.
Regress.
And I said, you know what? It's not worth it. I thought about it. I said, tomorrow, if I decided that I wanted to rekindle all of those friendships, start them up again, look, you know, I want to rekindle our friendships. Everyone would say yes. I know it. But I know that I couldn't be who I really was, because none of those people ever put me first. And I put all of them first at one time or another, and no one ever put me first. And
You know, it's weird being in a situation where you feel like Batman
Yeah.
and Robin or something crazy,
Yeah,
like
it's
Thelma
like-
and Louise, and then the other
Yeah.
person says, yeah, no, I feel it too, and then kind of doesn't show that and doesn't prove that, but says it, but doesn't do anything else with it. And it kind of drags you along, and you accept the way you're being treated. But yet that's not how Batman and Robin act.
Right. And it's funny. And, you know, Willow and, you know, Michael, I agree with you. You know, and it's funny. It was like subtle ways of being disrespected. Like, Paula's the one that bends. It's okay if we don't do what Paula wants. It's okay if we never go where Paula wants to go. It's okay if, you know, this is going to cost a lot more than Paula wanted to spend, you know. I mean, the examples go on and on and on. And, you know, I don't want to bore anyone, because we all have this bullshit. It's all bullshit, you know, and it's bullshit that we create, you know. And now I don't have any of the guilt that went along with it, because I did feel really guilty. Frank knows I tried to keep the friendships. I even booked vacations that I had to cancel airfare that I didn't get back, because I knew that there was no way I could get on that plane and go. 2 trips. Remember when we went to South Carolina? I was supposed to go there, and I was supposed to go to Florida.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't go. The universe would not let it happen. The universe will not let me speak to, Facebook, social media. Now, you all know I'm terrible. If I forget your birthday, it's because I just wasn't on social media. If I don't get back to you, it's because I'm terrible with the phone. People who know this know me. They know me. They know this. They love me.
Just love me.
I hate the phone. I don't like social media, but we have to use it because Frank and I are on social media to talk to people. It's so weird. But I don't like it. You know, I want to speak my truth, and I want to be with like-minded people, and I just want people to love me for me, and not because of what I can do for you. Do you know? It's like, I'm just done. I'm tired. I'm done. I just don't want it anymore. Thank you. And I know you all respect me. Thank you. This has nothing. This is something that I've been fighting with for so long. And, you know, it's funny too, because like, if someone were to be purely disrespectful for me, like to me, I wouldn't stand for that. But it's like those subtleties in the background. It's like, oh, Paula doesn't mind, and Paula won't mind, and it's okay with Paula, and Paula can change her schedule, and Paula can rearrange everything. And, you know, Paula can stand on her head. And, you know, even though Paula has a medical condition and Paula usually doesn't feel good, it's okay, because Paula's all right, you know. And I'm just done. When is it ever about me? Never. And you know what? Now it's about me, because now I make sure it's about me. And now I don't have the guilt that goes along with it. And it took a long, long time. And I can't believe it, but I did it this week. I mean, it knocked me out. It like physically knocked me out. It is rough. You know, it is rough. It's like, come on. You know, it's funny too. That's why when I texted Ellen, I was like, I need an Ellen treat. She was like, oh my God, you actually asked for something. I will make you whatever you want. You know, and I know she will because she loves me.
It's like this week, a new Lionsgate portal energy
Oh my God.
came in.
Yeah.
We went under together. Microdose style.
We microdosed. Yeah,
like
two days. I think that helped me.
Yeah,
I really
sure.
do. I'm gonna do that again.
And it said, the mushroom said to me, "You are doing all the right things, right? There's no wrong way to do this, but you, however, are doing the right thing. This is really good." Okay, so it was making me feel better, and I'm like, "All right, cool, that's great." However, your mother, etc., my bloodline, they were showing it to me. I was like, oh, none of you are celebrators. Not one of you celebrates your achievement.
Yeah, so weird.
None of you.
So weird. Yeah, I know you would do, Ellen. I know you would make me anything. I know you would, and I know you're gonna make me the peanut butter fudge because that's what I want. But yeah, no. Even Frank and I, like, we're talking about like where we're gonna be living, you know, and it's like, oh, the house for the cats and the house for mom and a house for this, and we can plant and 50. Oh, that's nice. No one hates us, you know. And it was like nothing we wanted. You know, like everything was for everybody else, and I'm okay with that. Just don't give me a hard time. Like
right. Like if I show up to deal with that,
leave me alone.
Right? Then don't break my balls.
Yeah,
I gotta just kind of hang in the pocket and do my thing.
Yeah.
You know what's really funny? I have a different take in my life. I became the face man, Frank Castle.
Yeah.
Right. So I was the guy. This is according to everyone I ever met that I hung out with. Oh, he's the dude like you don't bring home. Yeah, that's the guy you go out and fucking party with.
I don't know. Yeah,
right. So then I would always have like that Fast Times at Ridgemont High, Motley Crue kind of situation happening with me, except I didn't get involved in the drugs like that. I did cocaine for 3 years in my life.
You don't even have to.
Right. So no, I'm just not going to lie. However,
no, of course not.
In those moments, I lived this weird. It's not like I had a whole life of doing these things. I was 20 years this guy that when I was off stage, it was the same character. It's just a little amplified on stage because it's a little cartoony or whatever. But I never was the guy that got thrown out of the party, really.
No.
Out of all the things, I never had sex with anyone's wife or girlfriend and had them chase me and go, you ruined everything, and never did that. I never was the guy that you couldn't leave alone in the room with your girlfriend so you could go to the bathroom. Like I would never take anyone's number and do nothing like that. So, but my family and to some regard, some other people were like, oh, he's coming to the wedding. And I'm like, what the fuck did I do? Right. But the bachelor party, hey, Frank, I need you to plan my bachelor party. I'm like, what? Right. So it was that guy. So I always I'm like, but I'm not like that. Whatever you guys are defining me as, I don't even pretend to be that way on the radio. I used to do all the truther radio shows and shit. And they used to go, oh, he's nuts. And then they hang out with me and everyone was like, oh, this is mad cool. I'm like, this is me. What did you think I was? Well, you performed at all the Playboy shows. It doesn't mean I'm having sex with the playmates. You know, their boyfriends are all over 6'2", giant steroid men, right? I'm 5'8", bald, right? Like I rap. It's just different. So what you think I am, I have to suffer through,
right?
If I'm in your presence, to even be in your presence. Oh, it's this guy. Don't let him around your kid. He's gonna fucking be like, fuck this motherfucker. Okay. So I've randomly cursed in front of my nephew a few times, right?
I curse all the time. I can't help it.
No, I understand that, but I never am I that guy that shows them how to curse and to laugh at this.
Oh no, of course.
To say something like rude and be disrespectful.
You're a family person.
Yeah, right. So
you need to cherish Jubilee.
I never understood that, and then people would leave their kids with me sometimes. Like, here, watch my kid. Because they know the internal character is fine. We had a great
time with the kid. I know, whatever.
But then it's suffering at the dinner table is what I'm getting at the holiday table. Well, he's like this. It's like, dude, maybe I was like that once 15 years ago.
Like
We
what?
made
Because
12
I didn't
dozen.
grow up. Wait, Paula, we're not old enough now.
I know. We made 12
and
dozen cookies
responsible.
last year for Christmas, me and Frank, but whatever.
I dressed as Santa Claus.
I know.
For the
Yeah,
fucking
no,
kids.
I know.
Right?
Last year was the first year to do it.
Well, because they're old
older
enough,
now.
and your nephew is on point at such a young age. Hey, Frank, is that you? That's Frank.
He's
I was
very-
like, no.
The little one, Aiden, he's
Aiden
very
had me.
smart.
He fucking.
Yeah.
I came out. He was like, "Hey, Frank."
He was,
I was like,
he was
"Wait,
like, I think that's
he's
Frank.
the youngest of all of them."
Yeah.
And he caught me in 2 seconds. In my house, they're all still. They have no clue it was me yet. Oh, they will. I'm gonna wait till they're just at the right age, and I'll come out with the hat on and go.
Oh,
hey.
please, Nick, I could tell you stories. Please, if I told stories, you would cry.
Yeah. So
I just, that's not my story anymore.
it's not us.
It's not my story.
It's not us, right? So what we were maybe at one point, and
No,
whatever.
it has
we
nothing to-
evolve, we change. That's it.
Yeah, who
That's
you
it.
are right
You're
now.
gonna attract those that you need to be attracted to. If your light is shining,
Yeah,
and you don't
if
want
you
to be
don't
around
like
the
the
shit
people that
anymore
are
because
around
that's been
you-
going on.
But this is important too.
Yeah.
If you do not like the people that are around you, take a very good look at yourself and start thinking about what you're putting out. Because if you're getting back things that you don't like, you're putting out things that you don't want. And you have to start changing the way you're thinking a little bit. Because if you're surrounded by people that you don't want to be surrounded around, if you're surrounded by people that you don't like, you need to change the way you're putting things out. You need to change the way you're thinking about things. And it really is that easy. Just change the way you think a little bit, and everything around you will change. And that I can guarantee you, no matter what. I can definitely guarantee that. But yeah, we kind of I kind of got rid of all the guilt, and it feels good, and I honestly, I had a hard, and I honestly think I microdosed twice this week. And I think that that's what helped me through it, because the first day, I really think it just shut my brain off
You
for a
got
little
knocked
while.
out. You were like,
Because
whoa.
I slept, and I told Frank, I said it was like the most beautiful sleep I had ever had. I felt like a princess sleeping in a bed that was like a cloud, and it was that's the only way I could describe it. It was like the best sleep in the best bed that I could imagine. But it was very flowy and very princessy and very beautiful and very, I don't know, like bunnies and rainbows. It was like it was like the most beautiful restful sleep that I think I've had in a very long time. And then I microdosed the second time, and then I think I got down to work. But I think that sleep that I think I had actually was able to let a lot of it go. But I know it was, I know the microdosing helped it. And I think it's something that I'm going to start to do, because you're not out of control. Like you can still, you can still do things. You can still be aware of what's going on around you. Like my thing is like, I always worry about not being in control, because if I need to be responsible for something, I need to be ready. But I did like the idea of the microdose, and I did like the feeling of the microdose too, because it didn't last a long time.
Yeah, but it stays with you, which is nice.
No, it does stay with you, but it didn't last a long time. And I know if I wanted more, I could have just eaten a little bit more. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
Like I know I
You
could
could
have
always
added
dose
to
up.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
for sure.
I did like that,
So-
but I did feel like it cleared up a lot of stuff, like a lot of stuff,
It always does.
a lot of stuff.
Look, the stuff is there for you to take advantage of.
But that's what I think I'm doing.
If you were to write something into the program to help you snap out of it just at the right time and work your way towards something, it would be having psychedelics in your diet. So I'm going to bring this back around, Peter. I see you're mentioning Santa being fake. And I would debate you in an open court of law that Santa is really the shaman, and he's stuffing your stockings with mushrooms.
Yeah.
And he's coming through your chimney, which is actually the window in the roof. It gets changed to a chimney because you get Americanized, right?
Right.
But the real truth is you come in through the window because the snow's so fucking high you can't get through the front door. So you dry out the mushrooms, and then they catch the shaman smiling, putting the mushrooms for the week, because everyone gets an allotment. Why? Because it's part of your diet. That's it. Wait, it's not it. There's magic involved with it too. There's flying reindeer and all that other shit.
Yeah, but you know.
Well, wait, hold on. There's those colored mushrooms, right? That the red and the blue ones that look like the red and the white ones that look like the actual Smurf houses. They're really hard to I don't think you could just eat those directly, but what would happen?
No, I don't think you can. I think
the animals would be eating them. You would be doing your brew of that and then going outside and peeing, and the animals would be running up to you, the reindeer, and drinking your pee. That's the real story behind it, because you're supposed to recycle that, and the second time you drink it, that's where the potency from the mushroom is. So you recycle it and then you blast off. So what you're doing is the shaman's pee was blasting off all the whatever animal was coming up to them to drink it. It was the reindeer pretty much. And that was like a weird thing. When I heard that, they run up to you to do that because they know you're going to go pee outside. And the shaman would be passing them.
Yeah, that's what they're saying.
The psychedelic. So now you're sharing your high with them.
Right.
There was a light on and then off in that room. Something just shut off in that room.
Oh, the lamp probably went off.
Oh, it was weird. So in that regard, Santa is absolutely real. And that would make every shaman Santa, bringing the magic door to door. Right? When then they take the most beautiful thing and they turn it into a fucking corporate run shill system that gets played out after like a year or two. Just like Comic-Con. They
you know what I really liked? Too. I like those pills we were taking. We have to get them again. Those mushroom pills.
Yes.
The
Paul Stamets.
The supplements. Those pills I really
because
liked.
they're not pills. They're actually the ground up mushroom.
No, I know, but it's like a supplement. You take 2 pills every day.
So you get an allotment, all the things you never get all the time you would get from mushrooms that are like hyper healthy. Right? Just really Yanamita muscaria. The reindeer eat their shrooms and you drink their pee. I don't know about any of that shit.
No, it's true.
Wait, I don't know about drinking the reindeer's pee. I think
because they eat the mushrooms.
Yeah, you know what? Maybe, but that's nasty. Yeah. I don't want to get into that one. I'm not into the whole urine therapy and the craziness with that. However, I hear it works. So it's your world, your universe. If you want to drink pee, go right ahead. No one's going to hold your fault. Just brush your teeth before you come over. But all right, so that would be your traditional Santa Claus. Today, it's become what it is. And then they tell you, well, no, it's really the story of Krampus, or no, it's the story of this guy. It doesn't matter. It's your perspective. Where's Frank panned into? Right? Like nobody asked me, well, what's Frank panned into? Frank believes it's good. It's a good thing. It's a good thing. Naturally, lying to your kids and just giving them gifts over and over again is kind of the wrong way to do it. But it could be cute for a while. And I understand a lot of these things are all ritualistic, like the tooth fairy. Put your bone under this pillow and the demon's going to come and take it. Might leave you $1 or $2.
Well, it was $0.25.
Really?
Why, you always got $1?
I never got $0.25. I'll tell you what I got. I always got way more than $0.25. It was like $1. Up to $10.
Oh my God. That's because you had Viola and Frank, though.
And then
please, I was lucky if I got a pack of gum. You're ridiculous.
Yeah.
Please.
Sugarless
Trident gum.
Yeah. And I'd be like, how does the fucking tooth fairy know I really like this gum? And my parents would be like, what do you think? That's like the tooth fairy's job. I'd be like, that makes sense. I mean, if you go to work every day and it's what you do, you should know exactly what to do. You see how serious my face is when I do that? I'd be great in a crazy situation like that. But that's the truth. And I know it brainwashes the kids into some weird shit, but there's a fun way to play about things like that if you're going to take part in it, and a really good way to explain things. Or you could just do the traditional shit way, right? And then have the news telling you what to do and thinking that you're standing outside in New Year's Eve and watching the ball drop and the city is the greatest thing. Meanwhile, there's no place to pee. Everyone's stacked in. You're not allowed to move off camera.
I
You
have
can't
to
get
tell
off
you,
and walk over there. You can't do shit. It's
I
fucking
have to
freezing.
tell you though.
But it's the best time in the world. Why? Because you said so?
No, you know what though? I have to tell
I'll
you.
watch from here.
No, I did have the best time
Naked.
though. I was in New York City for New Year's Eve in Times Square. My sister's ex was a roadie for not a roadie, like a roadie, not a roadie, stagehand for the New Year's Eve special. So he got us the passes to go in. So we had dinner in the city. It was an unusually warm, I think it was 2013 or 2014, an unusually warm winter. So it was unusually warm that night. We went to dinner. It was me, my sister, my friend, and Alex, my nephew, was there. We had gone to dinner, and then after dinner we had called Ray. He got us into the middle of Times Square. I made rum gummies. I soaked. God, this is when I was drinking still. I soaked gummies in rum for like 48 hours because I knew we were going to be with the stagehands, and I wanted to say thank you, and because it's cold, you can't drink because you have to pee. So I put the alcohol in the gummies, and everyone loved them, and they were like, "Oh my God, your sister's great. She has stuff for everybody." So I even had snacks on New Year's Eve. They were the
you know, if you were a villain, you could have loaded the rum gummies at that moment, and you could have just rolled up on Dick Clark right at the right moment and been like, "Hey, what's up, everybody? It's rockin' New Year's Eve. My name's the etheric translator, Paula Milo, and I just want to say Happy New Year to everyone out there. Thanks. Come on, bring your old ass back in here and let's hang out."
No, but that was a great time. That was like one of the best times I ever had in Times Square. It was awesome. It was right before I met you. Yeah, it was awesome. And then I said, I'm never going to do this again because I already did it and I never have to do this again. But
that sounds pretty awesome.
It was the greatest. It really, really was. I had a couple of really great times in the city, but now
I ate
I don't even want to be there now.
With a group of people. You know just about all of them too.
Oh,
literally, you know all of them.
Is this when you met?
And then I dropped. All right, we had three extra, and I dropped them on the floor. There was like 20 people, right? So I dropped, and two of us were looking, and I started tripping, so I couldn't. I went like this. I thought I had it. Now we're in the Bronx. It was on the floor. Mescaline is like that tiny, right? So it looks like a pencil tip. So I went like this, and apparently caught two of them, and the dude next to me got one. And we both got a little bit of a mouthful of dirt. So we didn't realize it at first. So I was already tripping. So we got on the train. I remember all of us were staring at each other. It was Paul and
yeah, I know all those kids.
It was all of them, Baz and all that. Okay. So we were just sitting across from each other. And then it started. We had the whole train car. So then everyone started laughing at once. And it was like one of those moments where it's just this spontaneous laughter. So the people that were kind of randomly in between were looking at us, and we just were laughing and laughing and laughing. And then it just stopped. And we were like, oh my God, I can't believe this is happening. And everyone there was tripping. And we got off and walked right into the laser show. And the laser show.
At the planetarium.
It was the greatest experience. Okay, laser grunge.
And I never met you. And I think I went there with. No, did I go there with Paul? Maybe I did go there with Paul. I would.
Kids. It would be funny if you were there that night. There's so many people there with us.
No, I wasn't there.
But we were all tripping, so you would have known. I remember this girl Slima. She passed away, and we only call her that because she's a weirdo.
Okay.
She was like, "Are you all right?" I go, "I just saw out front with my man Booga, right?" And
is that one of the twins?
Riplett, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I go, hey, this black guy comes up to me, and he has like a Scooby-Doo hat. I can't explain it. It's this little tassel thing. I was like, hey, look, it's a Scooby-Doo guy. And then he goes, yo, man, I'm homeless. So I'm like, oh, you want $1? He goes, no, I'm going to take this lip and pull it over my face And then if I could do that, you could give me $1. So we all ran up. People were like, hold on. You're going to take your lip and pull it over your face. That's impossible. Look up. It's just not happening. He was really skinny too, man. This guy was really funny looking. So everyone gathered around and we were just waiting to get in. The line was right there. And he fucking takes his lip and pulled it up to here and stuck it to his forehead and let it go. And it went, and he went, pay me. And we threw money at him screaming, do it again. Oh my God. It was tripping so hard. So we were laughing, and then they ushered us in and we took the whole section. And the first song was, it was an Alice in Chains song. The one that, where it's like they're just screaming, them bones, right? So the skull comes out of the ceiling. I've never been to a laser show where it's in 3D. Like it looks like it's in front of you.
Yeah, but you've been to the Hayden Planetarium before, right?
Yeah, this was that 1,000,000-watt laser thing that I never saw that
the
until
laser show. Yeah.
No, the original laser show was like a couple of 1,000-watt things. It wasn't that million thing where it looks like they're in the room walking in front of your face. This skull came out of the ceiling and landed in my lap, and I was like, "Yo, what the fuck?" And then did it again.
You were also tripping, so
yeah, it didn't matter because we were all looking, going, "Holy shit, it's right there!"
Oh my God.
All right, so what are you trying to say? The technology didn't get better at one point.
No,
the old
I'm
laser
saying
show
that it
sucked the
looked
fucking
scarier
monkey dick.
because you were tripping balls.
It wasn't scary.
With.
It was awesome. It was the greatest experience in a show. All right, I got a couple that are in the number one place. I got Spit on Blood by Gene Simmons when I was like 4. That was crazy, but that was pretty awesome. Now that I look back, I was at the Kiss concert in the front row, and this dude spit blood on me while he was dressed as a demon. But now that I'm older, I'm like, that's kind of fucked up. And the laser show with all these kids tripping. Then we left there, and we couldn't stop talking about it. Tool just came out with Sober, that song Sober, and then I'm like, well, how are they going to do this track? Dun-dun. This living brain came out of the ceiling and was like melting around us with tentacles and shit. And I'm like, this is, at that time, it was the greatest eye-opening thing. I've been to Pink Floyd. I had taken acid, and I watched the pink pig come in over the stadium in Yankee Stadium. That was excellent. But there was no... That was it. It was like I was tripping. Well, what did the trip? What was it like? Because I describe trips now, right? You and I have an experience, right? The other night they said you guys don't celebrate. Okay, when I would trip back then, nobody said anything to me, and if they did, I had no fucking clue what was going on. There was no gods and demons and entities. It was just I'm tripping balls, and I didn't understand even making a crossover. You know, it just goes to show you how thick-headed we are, or thick we can be. That you would just be able to eat tons of mushrooms and whatever and never have a clue that any of this still exists. And then it happened in a car with me, the guy, Smack the Savior, my friend Fred, Asian Mike, Dom, right? The worst kid probably to be tripping with. And then my boy Berardi. Inside of the car, the mushrooms hit us so hard that I started having telepathy with the guy in front of me, which was Dom, the craziest dude ever. And he shut me out. And he was going, I'm crazy, motherfucker. And this was happening mentally, but I could see it. And I went around the car, and each person got either scared or blocked me out completely. And then I felt alone. And I was in the backseat of my car. And this kid Anthony was driving, and then I was begging the universe for help. I didn't know what to ask for. I was like begging God, Jesus Christ, fucking help me. I put my head up against the window, and I was in Manhattan traffic, and the car pulled up next to me, and there's a little kid in the back seat, and he was playing at the window, and he's like, don't worry, it'll be all right. And I said, what? And I looked at him. He was way too fucking little to say anything to me. Yeah. And so he was just tapping on the window, and I was just like, and I could hear him as a fully grown adult. And that was the only time I had an experience, I guess, that was anything like the last 5 years of my life with you. Like growing into what we've had since the first time.
It's been a good time.
Whew. So even for me, there was that block, massive block.
I think there was a block for me too in the beginning, because it was almost like this is too good to be real.
Well, when you were growing up, let's ask Paula, Did you eat mushrooms and stuff growing up?
Never. I never did a psychedelic until I met Frank. Not one. Never. Never. The fact that I microdosed 2 times this week is a gigantic. I think Frank is still shocked.
Aya told me Paula will just do whatever you say. So she's going to trust you. So if you're like, drink this or smoke this, keep an eye on what you're saying, because she's just going to do it. So if you put it down and you're like, yeah, we're going to drink that, and she drinks it, it's because she feels safe, so you have to make sure. So I'm like, oh, I got this. And I learned, the dealio with that, which was pretty intense, because she never did anything.
No, nothing.
So would it be out of the range to say your age of when that started? When the first time you took a psychedelic was?
I was, what was I, 43, 42 when I met you? 43, 42, 43.
So pretty much half a life.
44.
And then was able to feel comfortable.
43. Yeah.
Comfortable enough to just go, yeah, I'm going in with you.
Yeah.
And not even to start small. It's like we were smoking DMT and drinking ayahuasca. Like we weren't eating
in the
mushrooms.
big 20-ounce solo cups. Yeah.
So we were drinking bigger cups than this. And we were drinking like the whole thing, the whole 100 grams.
It was very hard.
It's like, oh, we're just putting it all in.
It was very hard. Yeah, but I still don't do it like I truly am shocked that I did that twice this week. And I knew I could.
And
I made sure everything was done first.
I might, out of every time offered, let's say 1 out of 10 times, it's like 9 times you suggest it before we just do it together. And then I'll suggest it once and you'll go, oh, okay.
Well, you did. You suggested it last week and I said, no, I can't. I'm not, I don't have the head for it. I knew.
See, I
he
just
suggested it last week and I
all
said,
the
no,
time.
I can't. I'm not in the head for it. I knew better.
I might actually do it tonight as soon as we get off the show.
You should.
I might just stuff some right in my mouth and be like,
yeah, you just got to go to your mom's tomorrow, right?
So
yeah, that's all we have. No,
the other day when we did it, you passed out. I was tripping so fucking hard.
Oh, I know.
And then I called my mother. She called me. She said, what are you doing? I had nothing. Right? I was in here fucking around going nuts. I was having the best time though.
No, I know. You went there.
So the mushroom says to me, what do you want to do? You could lay down with Paula. You could pass out. We could get this done. Or you continue going at the speed that you're going at. So I was like, no, I don't want to stop. So I wound up at my house. I hooked up put up all the mosquito netting and did it like, you don't even know
because you were
the unlocking that was going on.
Because you were, yes, I do.
I put it up. I bought clips to put them on. And then I put them up with the clips, didn't like it. And then remembered she's got little zip ties and they fit perfect.
Yes.
And then the magnets that weren't being used work perfect to hold the curtains open.
Yes.
We made this place look like an oasis. As soon as I start in the back, before I really get into it, I eat more mushrooms.
Right.
And then I'm like, well, no one's going to bother me. It's fucking hot and whatever. And she comes outside and she's like, hey, what are you doing? I just woke up from a nap. And I'm like, fuck. And I start tripping so hard and I'm smoking a joint going, I can see it finished. Like, put this here. It was pretty simple.
Right.
I was going, wow, I can't believe how easy this is. And I was enjoying it. So then she was talking to me and I was just like, okay, Diane, stand here and then hold this and let's do this together. Come on, me and you together.
Step.
And she was like, wow, this is pretty good. And I was tripping. I didn't say a fucking word. And then she goes, I can't take this no more. It was 100 degrees. She jumps in the pool. And then I realized she's in the pool. And the rule is when she's in the pool.
That's when you talk to her about important stuff.
You got to jump in the pool with her and start talking important shit.
She's transmuting through the water.
I jump in the pool with her and I'm tripping and I'm under the water going, here it goes. And I get up and I'm like, hey, we start, our feet are going like this. I'm like, how you doing? She's like, yeah, what's up? And we just start talking.
Mm-hmm.
We talked for an hour and a half. And then it got all worked out. We talked so in detail about a bunch of shit that it was important, but where you never had the words to talk the right way without a fight going off or something.
Right.
There was no resistance whatsoever. None. It was like,
well, no resistance.
It felt more like brother and sister hanging out.
Yeah, that's great. You were in the water.
And then I forgot I was tripping. That's how deep in, like, you get used to it. Everyone, it doesn't always take you. Eventually it shows you how to be. The feeling of the trippiness is how It's an alien feeling to you because you're not used to feeling it, but it's you actually just being more open. So after a while, you get used to it and you're like, oh, that's how I'm supposed to feel. I've talked about this on the show. Oh, how I grab myself and go, oh, it's starting.
I was doing that too, though.
Welcome
I was
back.
doing a lot of that
Welcome
self-love
back.
too. I was holding myself when I was sleeping.
Yeah. You know, and it's like, wow. And it's like, well, I'm you. You're me. We're
Mhm.
literally here because of you. And you're literally here because of us. And we're all here together.
Right.
And you wrote us into the program, but we were already part of the program from the beginning, which is from source, and your source, and I'm source, and your source, and it's like, so we're together, and it's
Right.
like, oh, so we're just family. This is what you're saying.
Mhm.
Yes, our DNA
Yes,
is exactly the same.
pretty much, yes.
I look at you, you look like me. I just have the arms and legs, actually. Everything else is
Pretty much, yes.
well, you know, they'll tend to, if they look nothing like you for that retrospect, but then they'll go, you'll look at it and go, okay, well, I'm all, so I get it. You're me and I'm you, but that's a little fucking weird. They'll show you a different part of them, like looking internally, up close, magnified, bringing up the neurotransmitter pathways, and then go, no, I may not look like you. I may look like the floating Oxman octopus arm guy, but take a look. And then you're exactly the same on that level. Like the neurotransmitters and pathways are exactly the same. You look exactly alike. You're like, oh, so we're literally in this realm 100% related. Like, there's nothing different except the way you look. It's like you're just in a different shaped glass.
Exactly.
You're the water that went into the shape of this.
Exactly.
And you have to fill yours.
You have to fill your vessel.
Oh, you're the best.
You're
You're the best.
Thanks.
So as this unlocking thing's going on and these purges are happening, I want to just talk about this real quick without getting, need to get negative, but all this stuff's coming out in the news about who people are and what they were doing and the pedophilia and the child abuse and the accusations and who's canceling shows and who's doing this. Okay, even during this, and you'll see me posting, anyone that's a friend of mine on Facebook, I'm keeping it simple. These are my hashtags. Keep it simple. Hang them all. Right? I'm not sitting here flipping. I already know who was doing what. Right? It's a shocking, yes. I know. I watched them at the rituals doing it. I was the one telling you guys about it. Remember when me and Chris Gio were telling you they're fucking doing all this stuff, right? That's when I knew 100% what I was speaking. I wasn't speaking from 9/11's an inside job. We know it's this and that. Frank, how do you know 100%? Frank, how do you know 100%? Well, I guess I don't. But it's pretty obvious that it is. But I can't prove it to you one way or another. It's got to come out in another different way. However, I've been to the rituals. I went in there and I was the guy kicking shit over. I was the one that kept showing up over and over. I was the one that had to watch them and watch what they were doing and understand why they were doing that. And I'm like, oh, this is just whack on so many levels. But see, I'm the guy that gets worked up really easily, right? And I'm like, you just tell me when, mother. You just tell me when I can. And there were moments where she said, right now. And she just go off into the background. And I'm like, oh, I get to do what they're unable to do. Right? And I get the 100% permission. Okay, so it was shocking. My mother never believed it. My brother couldn't really believe it. The rest of the world in large sections couldn't believe it. Yet in other sections of the world, they're like, it's 100% true. Places like Haiti and Africa are like, dude, they're doing all of that vaccinating. Like, where India is like, we didn't have these problems till Bill Gates showed up. They're literally going after him. Bless you. Haiti, they,
Thank you.
the child trafficking, all the shit from the vaccinations and stuff that they're practicing how it works on these people. And now it's coming to light, right? So this is the great reveal and the great purge. To you or I, this might have been normal information, but I'm still watching with popcorn.
Oh yeah, silver keeps going up.
Silver
Of silver keeps
all right.
going
So
up.
the true price, here's something that's crazy. Let's talk about this for a second. So true price of silver was 3,800 and change 3 weeks ago, right? So 4 weeks ago. So I'd come out on the air prior to that and say, real price of silver is really around $3,000, but you're paying $14 to $17 an ounce, plus a little bit of tax and juice on it, right? So people are like, well, that ain't going up. So this, that, or the other thing. I'm like, look, it's finite. Once they stop mining, it's a wrap. It's in everything. It's literally in everything. You don't think it's in everything, but it's in everything. Okay. The way the Anunnaki like gold, right? Humans, you put silver in the technology. It's in everything.
But it's in everything technical.
It's in everything.
It's in every computer and every phone and every
right. So then what's the true price? So they were like, I saw a lot of them, 3,600, 3,800 would be the true value if we revalued the dollar properly and everything was gold backed and proper.
Right.
Then it went, we were watching things and they're like, no. Listen, the true price of silver is really $5,000. I was like, 5,000? How are they getting these fucking numbers?
If it's gold backed, it's
so then it was, you're right. They were able to explain, no, if we close the mines and then this happens and then it's fine, there's not enough, or there's a shortage for any strange reason, this occurs. So we're in the perfect storm for this to occur because it is the revaluing of the real money. It's like, oh, look, it's Superman. It's not like a guy. It's not Bizarro. It's not the fake Superman. It's not clone Superman.
No, it's Superman.
It's the real dude.
And then what happens?
And it falls away and you're like, dude, it's Superman.
Last week, 2 weeks ago, silver started going up. It's been going up.
They started going, oh no, real value is this. So it went 3 to 4 to 5.
Right, so it went from 16,
it's still going up.
It's like 27.
But now the real
$27.
The faux value, I'm sorry, it went to 23. From silver was $23. Right. Jumped a little bit more and then went back down to about 23.
Okay.
It went down. But that's because they're blowing their load at it. They're just throwing money, print. And don't think that Trump doesn't understand this. And it's the natural ticking of the clock. Tick, 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 tick. And then that's it. Time runs out. The mathematical equation is finished. There's no way you can print more. Oz is Oz at this point. Trillions, bazillions, gazillions, none of that matters. It just doesn't matter. It's you got to reset because none of that, it's all bullshit. It's all fake, made up bullshit. Right? But the real value of this under your more fake bullshit and printing money and doing this is raising the true price of silver to these astronomical rates that never before. And silver guys are like, well, we don't discuss those kind of rates because to say the true value of silver is like $5,000 is almost would sound insane. I go, what, like telling people reptilians eat children?
Right.
Insane like that? Interesting how we work on this. So now the real valuations are coming out, what really gold is worth, what silver is really worth. And they're like, and as this conjunction occurs, it's going to jump in value again. So your 1 ounce of silver, 1 ounce. Let's see, what does 1 ounce look like? Just so homies out there know, and you don't mistake it. Oh, it doesn't work. Oh yeah, I got a Deadpool silver coin. It's got that ugly fucking lizard, the queen, on the back. Hopefully they'll be taking her off money. But after I use this to buy myself something really nice, a little stack of these to buy a home, right? When it's all revalued, they'll probably melt that shit down and make whatever they want with it. But don't worry, my superheroes will come into play. You should all have a little bit something, even if it's one thing. $5,000 from $17, right? Pretty interesting, right? How that works, right? It's like, oh, it feels good in your hand. It feels strong. And you'll go, well, where are you going to trade that in? Where are you going to cash that in? I'll tell you right now, if it goes to $5,000, how many people would be buying? Because like Bitcoin, there's only so much available. And then true evaluations come out, and now you're like, well, I can't afford that. There's certain people that will fall into that, and certain people, others that will have it. The patriots and the truthers that have been saying it forever, the preppers, they're gonna be like, well, we told you to just a little pail full of these motherfuckers makes you the meek inherits the earth instantly, right? So my grandfather, what are they? The silver dollars? Mm-hmm. They used to have silver dollars in circulation all the time. So they had the giant coffee cans. They had like 10 of these fucking things filled. There was a point in everyone's life when you have 20 people running around your home, going through divorces and family eruptions and drug addicts and all kinds of shit. All that was taken, right? Just that they had. And I was a witness to this as a child, knowing what I know now, because I could never replace what was there. They would have made everyone in my family, every single person in my family wealthy. That's how much they had personally. They don't have it no more. It was gone. But you know, that was in the 70s. And you say to yourself, well, those silver, that was actual silver. And they were like, no, those were silver. We weren't playing around. And then you know, you get to a point where it's not worth anything, or it's not worth as much as it was. It's still money and you have it hidden. And then it comes back around and here we fucking go.
Right.
Now, I can't tell you if Bitcoin is owned or run by the CIA or the dark cabal. I don't think it is. Okay. I wouldn't have learned it the way I've learned it if they were wasting my time with dark cabal information. That's not how ayahuasca works. And I've been through this with her and them and like a bazillion times. Anyone who's listened to us from day one, if you were to, the day I pressed buy with Bitcoin, I came on the air and said I bought Bitcoin. It was like $1,200. It was $1,200. If you would have jumped in at that point with me, you would have had what it's worth now. It's over 11, right? But it's just breaking into everything. Right. So now at 10 and 11, it's going to break to 20 to 40 to 50.
Right.
So you still have your opportunity. So your $100
will still get you something.
Mm-hmm. I had like Bitcoin change in one of the places where you could buy and sell and trade and stuff. And it wasn't enough to get out at the time because the charge to get it out was more than what I had, which is a fucking dick value move. So you have to leave your change in there. Well, I went back and looked, there was a couple $100 in there. And I was like, holy shit, this is fucking crack. And was able to get that money and put it where this belongs. It's a storage value of money. Whether I'm not going to argue with none of you out there. Those of you that are looking to make money, do not discuss making money with people that don't have fucking money or know about money, because it makes no sense. Yes, hard work pays into stuff and you got to first your hard work, but then there's other things that occur, right? There's more things.
Yeah, fear.
It's the devil's work. It's the this work.
Do on your own. You're not,
yeah, well,
you don't need other people's permission to do what you have to do.
The devil already bought our house then, our future spot. The rest of our life that we didn't get in our 401ks because it's not enough to fucking live on because I'm disabled. And so you're just arguing ridiculous points. The devil is not real. Okay. The cabal, I don't think runs blockchains. I'm sorry. Blockchains are unhackable. Quantum computing. Yes. Are they going to use it to do nefarious things? Probably not anymore. We're not going on that route. We're not on that fucking timeline. We're going to shoot past that. There's not going to be a fucking Terminator. There's not going to be, Thanos isn't going to show up with the glove and snap his fucking fingers and half of us are going to disappear from reality. That's not going to happen. You're not slaves. You're not going to be eaten by fucking reptilians. Your kids aren't going to be taken and fucking dragged through the mud in every which way you could drag a kid through the mud. You're not going to be held down and repressed for the rest of your life. Stop playing a fucking victim. It is time for you to stand up and take your place, become the hero in the story that you meant to become. And figure out the ways, like adulting style, that we have to do this. Mathematically, this shit works. Okay? Look, a few dollars here, a few dollars there now saves you everything later, right? You don't, when the shit went down with the pandemic, we went on air and we're like, we were having the best 2 weeks ever. And then we had to do all this other stuff. And that was hard. But we were prepared prior to this. So when it went down, never went to the store.
No, there was no shop.
There's been the riots may have been outside, but I'm not part of it. It's not coming over here. I'm not going into these places that are telling me what to do, where people could be sick and all this. We never left our house. We didn't have to because we were prepared. Oh, so just enough.
Right.
We ran to the supermarket, once?
Couple of times.
All right, but it was like going to the fucking store at that point. I'm gonna just walk down this corner with a mask on, see what's going on. Right after the first month, we were like, "Oh, we still got another 2 months of food." Like, that's
we were
fucking
good.
Weird.
Yeah, we just had to go.
It's
now.
worth.
Yeah, and now we're good until
the store of value: food, fresh, clean water, some silver. If you could afford gold, I mean, gold is just gonna fucking, money makes money. And we realize that it's energy. So the more energy is the more energy.
Begets money.
Money begets money. Bring it on. Like I can throw this in now. And once it's part of it, well, how you get part of that wave? You grow a pair of fucking balls.
One
you
thing
roll
at
up
a
your
time.
fucking pants, put
One
one
little
foot in
piece
front
at
of
a
the other,
time.
and you walk into the water. But Frank, it's over my head. But I'm talking to you from the deep. I'm not standing on the shore with you. I'm in the deep end of the pool going, nah, it's all right over here. It's all right. You'll float. There's a lot of salt in this water. I was going to say something else, but I opted out.
Okay.
I didn't want to use up some of the words before midnight. I have a few stately things to say.
No, you have not. You've been good.
I haven't used too many of the dirty words. I have in little spurts, little tiny spurts. Paula likes to say I have Tourette's. So when people look, they go, "Oh, don't worry about him. He has Tourette's. Just don't look him
in the eye.
Just don't look him directly in the eye. Just let him." And we just roll with that. So, with all this occurring, one of the things before we leave, the mushrooms did tell me. I said once again, they always say, "Well, you never ask for anything, Frank. Frank, you literally never ask for anything, really." So you always just upgrade and so I go, okay. I couldn't think of anything to ask again. I don't really, as the all and the way this momentum,
You don't want anything.
I have momentum with you, Paula, right now.
I know. We don't want anything.
It's a deep momentum. It hasn't ended. It's been going since day one, but now it's, when you wait, you can see it in my face. Watch. Right? Like momentum.
No, you know what we wanted? We wanted a doghouse, and we bought a doghouse.
We stopped making cardboard boxes and just went and bought it.
And we said, screw this, because this is part of the boundaries again and respect. So,
and it worked better than everything.
And it was the waiting. We had to wait 5 days for it. And it was the waiting that killed us. And it was a doghouse, not even for us. It was
it's always for
it's weird.
What we can provide
for someone else.
Like, oh, the house would be perfect. And then the cats would be, we could have the house, and then my mother could have the granny pod, and then she could be set up, and then it takes a minute to get to us. It's like, oh, the land, we want to plant. I know, we want to rescue dogs. Right. And then it works its way out to, and then I could have a studio and whatever else. It takes a while to get to that. Even Lakshmi told me that. No, you got to ask for you sometimes. I'm like, I don't want to ask you for anything.
Yeah, but they said
right, but it's not that. It's you. She's like, you're not asking me for anything. Like, you're not asking the gods, hey, gods, give me, lowercase g's, give me the money. Right? That's not what you're doing. You're saying, I am the gods. It's me. I'm Lakshmi's like, you're me. I'm you. Right. So I'm like, but you're beautiful. You're Vishnu's, and you're me. I'm you. Right. You're all right. Right. I'm like, yeah. Okay. So you're me. I'm like, okay, well, I'm abundance. What do you mean? That's it? Yep. Now be abundant. Get out of your own way.
Go be abundant.
And then the next thing I know, I did a lot of research, and then decided to find places where I could purchase coins, where I could get into Bitcoin. Yeah, you get raped over the coals with some certain things, but when you're making 800,000 fucking %, you're like, I don't need, you know what? You want to take $40? Take $40. I just made $10,000. I don't know what the fuck is wrong with you, right?
Right.
So the 100 turns into 1,000, the 1,000 turns into 10,000, the 10,000 turns into 100,000. So this is how it's but momentum. It starts with one
thing.
You're not in it
choice.
Unless you get it right. You got to go buy your lotto ticket. It's $1, right?
One thing.
You bought more than 20 lotto tickets in your lifetime, okay? And you've never won.
Why not you?
You can buy one of these for 20.
Why not you?
And then this will be worth perhaps $5,000 because it's real. It's real.
It's currency.
And it's in your pocket. It's in your house. Yeah, you got to buy a safe. You got to get a gun to protect it because it's like a pirate's booty and stuff. Pirate's booty. But it's the buried treasure. This is what it's all about. You want to buy, trade, sell. But excuse me. Then you have Gasara and Nasara. You have the queen being taken out. You have money coming back in that belongs to everyone. It's coming. Look, you not only heard it here first, you heard it from others as well. We're just never slided on what we thought was coming. Like, we just say the story. We have our faith and our belief, and we have to believe in more and better. At one point it was dark, yes, but it's not dark anymore. It's not dark anymore. Yes, people pass and things move on and fucked up shit happens. It does. However, it's not dark anymore. I'm in the belief and knowledge and gnosis, right? My dying relatives and stuff are right there. Talk to them. I smoke DMT. They show right up. Okay, so where are you? Why are you not reincarnating? Well, why would I reincarnate? You're coming here. Oh, I gotta die to go there. No, there's a whole bunch of you graduating what they call a harvest, which I don't like as that word, but I think harvesting the bountiful fruit is different than harvesting the bountiful fruit to eat it. Like you can have the destructive way, like I'm going to go and harvest this so I can eat it, or harvest it so it can move on to its next thing. So bring it up to the next thing, take it out of the field and put it over here with the rest of us. Right. So it's coming out of the shell, coming out of the, people like to talk about being in the dome, or what the fuck do they call that? They think we're under some fucking flat earth dome. I forgot what they call the atmospheric fucking dome over the top, the glass structure that they believe is there. I told you a matrix, a net was put around the planet. Okay. That dome, okay, is atmospheric changing pressures and all that other stuff. It's not an actual dome. They put a net around the planet so you couldn't see what was out there. Literally, it's tuned in to the 4% that you're tuned into. So you're seeing what they want you to see. That's going to be removed. Now, what is that glass structure that's there? It's not. It's atmospheric pressure. You hit it and you got to pierce that shit. Right? So it's like a bubble around the planet, kind of like your aura that you have. The
firmament. Yeah.
The firmament doesn't mean that you're on a flat earth with a bubble, like bubble trouble. Okay, although from one perspective it might mean that, because honestly we look like the circuit board from one perspective, so it kind of does look like that. That's why we say, are you panned in or panned out? That's why I stopped saying flat earthers are wrong, because I'm like, they're just panned into there. There's no fight and there's no judgment. You're just looking from there. That's like saying Frank's over there looking and he sees this, and then Jack's over there looking and he sees this. So why is Frank and Jack having an argument if they're both standing in two different places looking at something at the same thing? Yeah. But from that perspective, it looks completely fucking different.
Right.
You're tuned in differently. Every single person's tuned in differently. But
that's a big thing with you, though, that you let that go. So that was a big discovery for
I have
you.
to. Because it's all real. There's got to be a
But it was easy for you to let it go.
Because I can see the perspective
now.
You
couldn't see before.
No, well, I want to just deny flat earth because of what I went through with ayahuasca, but it's not flat earth. She was like, if you're panned all the way out over here,
right,
this whole thing, it looks like a line. So technically the whole board's flat, but it's not, because there's above the board and below the board. So you get like the circle and then the circle underneath. So it has to reflect. So there is really nothing's flat. Nothing. Right. So I was like, oh shit. But they're like that firmament thing, that bubble. Everyone's got one. You have one. I have one. The earth has one. Yes. And then one was imprinted over that, like a mesh netting that you're not aware of, to make you see what they wanted you to see. That's why when I looked up so many times to the sky, I would smoke DMT and be like, I just want to see the stars. They're like, don't even bother. Don't even fucking bother looking up. You are the stars. Why would you want to come out here and look at that when the net is like that? And then when your aunt came to me and was on Pelham Parkway just walking, and I'm like, oh, look who it is. I said, the one question I ask everyone, why are you reincarnating? What's going on with you? She said, why would I reincarnate? Look, they're taking the net down. And I saw them doing it. It was like in panels. So in Guardians of the Galaxy, when they jump, they make space jumps, right? Mm-hmm. It looks like they're coming through this honeycomb thing.
Right.
Okay. It looks like that.
Right.
It looks like the honeycomb structures that light up and it makes like whatever hologram. Thank you. The hologram room. They were pulling the panels out and removing the ones that were artificially in place, creating a firmament of that kind that people were talking about. So I'm like, oh, so they're not wrong, but they're not right. They just think we live. And it's like, it's not wrong or right. It's just what their perspective of it is at that moment that they're going through it in their life.
Yes.
Stop fighting with them, rolling the boulder up the fucking hill. You're not here to teach them that the earth isn't flat.
It doesn't matter.
You're just here to tell the story.
But it doesn't.
Does your story entail how to tell people how to do things, or just how you did your thing?
Right.
Well, from my perspective, it wasn't flat. Good. And she said it's not flat. Okay.
Move on.
Why even there?
No
well,
kidding.
because if I'm panned in or panned out, okay, you could explain it now.
Right.
Okay, now move on. That's it. And I'm like, That's it.
But
Like,
that is it.
how do you live a better life? No
Yes,
attachments.
but that is
How do you
it.
disattach from
Let it
things?
go.
Let it go.
Let it go. That's Eckhart Tolle.
I don't have to live naked. I just have to let go of bullshit.
But that's it. Eckhart Tolle says it
Yes.
all the time. Tolle, Tolle. He says it all the time. With the ducks, 2 ducks walk out of the water. 1 duck bites the other duck on the neck. By the time they get back to the grass, they're over it.
Free Energy Mobile, thank you so much.
Thank
We
you
love
so
you.
much.
Sending you most positive vibes.
But they're over it. They're done. They don't harbor any resentment. There's no feeling of guilt. There's no feeling of frustration or anger or
resentment and
done.
time, wasting time in your mind, wasting time not being abundant.
Just stop. Like this closet, like this stupid abundance closet. It's not stupid. It's wonderful. Even we had to go to Costco. We were down to the bare everything. But we really weren't, because we cleaned out the closet before we went. And Frank was like, oh, I found this. And oh, I found that. And oh, I found this. So even our idea of lack wasn't really lack. Like, we could have gone longer if we needed to. It just wouldn't have paid for us to go longer, because now we have to be very vigilant, because now they're going to be tearing up the sidewalk soon in front of the house. So we have to make sure everything is planned out for when that happens, which is going to be another challenge, but whatever, because of the delivery situation, because they're not going to be able to deliver stuff. So now we're going to have to make sure we get ahead of the deliveries before that happens.
Yes, absolutely.
So it's always something you're juggling, no matter what it is or how mundane it may seem. You're always juggling something. It's just always the best case scenario you want to hope for, because it's always going to be something. Whether it's something big or something little, it's always something.
Yes. And look, 5 minutes of preparation saves you hours. And
we even cleared
mental shit.
We made sure everything was clean in the apartment, because we have a small apartment. So when we stack, it's like Frank's playing Tetris. So we even made sure the apartment was clean, made sure everything was cleaned out in the fridge and in the kitchen and everything. And then we pushed everything out of the way and made a clear path from the front door into the kitchen, because we knew we were coming home with basically double of what we usually get from Costco. And again, this sounds mundane, but it's only to tell you a story about preparedness. So we made sure we were prepared, so that when we came home, we had room to put all the shit that we didn't have before. And then we timed it perfectly, because the day after, all of the recycling was going to be picked up. So we managed to get all of the recycling out at the same time, which is, so we got to check off the adulting list box. We got to check off the preparedness, time management box. We got a lot of stuff done. And
if you can prepare yourself for 3 months with strategy,
just with a strategy on how you're going to live your life, or how you're going to plan the next course of events.
I know it's not easy. However, it's easy now before it's exponentially more difficult, right? The $15 you spend a month on coffee, or $20, that's like at Starbucks or something, that you're not spending anymore. Well, $20 a week. All right, so it's $20 a week. Let's just say close to $100 a month you might spend on coffee, that you're not spending on coffee now because you haven't been out because of the pandemic. That $100 in silver, you could buy, let's say a couple of months ago, you could have bought 5 silver coins for $100. Okay. And then that's it. You're done. What happens if these jump up to 5,000 a piece, 3,000 a piece? Is that a good investment? Is it a good investment if it jumps $100? Well, where am I going to sell it back to? Everyone's going to want it. Everyone's going to want it. What happens when Bitcoin is going to be the number? It's not. It doesn't go on and on forever. There's going to be an amount. And it's set. I don't remember. It hits, and then that's it. Everyone who has one has one. And then it's percentage. It's not one Bitcoin. It's percentages of the Bitcoin.
And it's funny because everyone has $10.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Everyone has $10,
Everyone
right?
has $10.
So if you just put let's just say the $100 into Bitcoin.
Yeah, I mean,
and
come
then
on.
just said, let it ride. How many times you just said, fuck it with something, or you went and saw someone and paid
Yeah,
with gas
don't
money and
get-
had a shit
don't get
night and you spent
coffee.
60 fucking
Oh yeah,
bucks
and gas.
on nothing.
Here in New York, it's
Just so you can
$2 a
complain.
gallon.
Oh yeah, gas is
Okay,
$2
so you're
a gallon
saving
right
money
now.
on gas. So take that money and buy some silver or Bitcoin.
Right, and then let it ride.
Let it ride. Forget about it.
Because it's real.
Just forget about it.
It's absolutely
It's better than
real.
investing in stock market. It's much more fun.
And it's safer because it's in your possession.
Yeah, it's in your possession, and you don't have to pay tax on it.
So check this out. So you tell me if this works. I'll throw a scenario at you. So the housing market crashes, but you have some silver, you have some Bitcoin, you got a nugget of gold, you got a little Ethereum, you got a little Litecoin, you got storable food, you got storable water, you got a gun, you got some bullets, right? You got some other shit too. I don't know, some stuff, right? The housing market crashes. You're in an apartment, let's say. The dollar starts to wreck itself. You're like, oh, look at this shit. Well, all this stuff starts going up immediately. You find yourself in a justifiable position. Cash isn't really what it is. But now nothing's paying for nothing, but houses still need to get sold. Things still need to happen. You can roll onto a property that's now this price, and then no one's got the cash for it. And it doesn't matter how much money you're throwing at it, and then how much cash, the printable cash isn't shit. It's like Venezuela, where they're using it just to throw it at the cops in the street. And then you roll up with your Deadpool silver coin, a little stack of them, and you're like, I want to put this down on my new home. Will you take silver? Well, yeah, we take silver, we take Bitcoin, we take Litecoin, we would take sperm in a cup if you gave it to us at this point, and blood, because it's worth a lot. We'll take some bullets. You have bullets? We would take things change value very, very quickly. Okay, you can't pay for it. Oh, I got silver and gold. Gold's worth fucking all this money, and so is worth all this money. Yeah, we could take silver. Oh, okay.
You could also barter for it. We're hoping to barter in the future.
Yeah, no, of course, right? You get storable. Like, say you're growing vegetables.
Yeah,
you have vegetables. You can feed people. You have eggs. You have chickens, and you know what I'm saying. So you a little bit in one direction or another
makes a big difference. It does.
And huge difference over here.
I'm glad you thought it was great that I said that, but you have to stop wasting your time if it's not abundant. Like people that aren't grateful, like Frank was telling his mom, like, I never hear you say you love the art, or I never hear you say you love anything. And she finally came around and started saying it.
Yeah, it just happened. She's like, this is so beautiful back here.
Yeah, and then he felt so much better about it.
I'm like, wow, she's finally enjoying it.
Because, if you're not grateful, or you can't like or love what you already have,
and you're always moving on to the next thing right away. It's like, dude, you're not enjoying any of this.
Same way about the next thing, because the universe says you want this state of transience. You don't want to feel love for anything. You want to feel this state of anxiety. So we're going to give you more to feel anxious about, and you have to already love what you have if you ever think the universe is going to give you more.
Yeah, don't think it's going to come from out there and then you're going to just now you're going to know more. No, everything you have is right in front of you. And all the things that you need to say no to, all the things you need to say yes to.
Yeah, they're all right there.
Yeah,
and the universe
it's not
just
out there.
Clears the path, and that path will never be clear if you're not clear. So I think the microdosing is helping. So I think I'm going to do it more often.
It's hyper healthy.
Yeah, I think I am going to do it.
It also clears up mental stress ailments that you just collect from having to hear it again, like that kind of shit.
Well, I think that's what I went through this week. And I think that's why I was so tired, because there was a lot of sleeping involved, but that's okay.
Well, the energy's new. Once again, the energy came through and it cleared a path. They said to me, there's no going back. Naturally, we always tell you that, but you've hit another apex.
Right.
You
well,
can't
that's what
go
I think
back.
Is happening to me.
So that 5D frequency you're going to hit, because that's all you're doing to get into 5D. It's just a frequency shift. Oh, can we talk about this real quick too? Another thing I want, you had a really good point about, and I want to conversate about it, so I'll just say it. But Dolores Cannon talked about New Earth, right?
Mhm.
You and I talk about 5D frequency. It's just a new frequency.
Right.
But we notice at first we're like wondering, hey, is it a place? Do we go there? Do we go up in spaceships and then they take us there? Does the Earth split into two different things?
Right.
And then there's these 3D people and these 5D people. Like, what actually happens? Like, what does my mother think if she doesn't come because she's not ready to do the work? Like, I don't understand. Like, what do people not come and then people just go? And
okay.
So there's this. What we've noticed is, because we don't have the full answer, but the pull has started away from those that are instructed like structured like us.
The pull has started. So
we're like noticing the separation.
One of the theories we have,
It's like an accordion.
One of the theories we have is,
so will you, like, those who don't come would have, do they think we died?
I don't think it's a,
do they not notice us?
I don't think it's a coming in and going. I think it's, we're all going to be sharing the same space, but
awareness of each other,
the awareness is going to be different. So part of what I had been letting go was part of stuff that I've been letting go since my aunt passed away. So parts of my family are starting to break off, or they already have broken off. And I was having a dilemma with, over the last couple of years, do I hang in there and not be true to myself and pretend? Or do I say, thank you, I've had enough. It's been very nice, but
it's time to move on.
It's time to move on. Or just say nothing, to be honest, and continue living the way
process.
I'm living. And
there's this pull away.
The answer was made clear to me. And there is a pull away. So I had said to Frank, I finally put this piece of it to bed. I don't feel the guilt associated with this piece of my life anymore. And the example I used was in Back to the Future, when Marty McFly takes out a picture of himself and he starts to disappear in the picture. And he says, if I don't change this, my timeline is going to change. I think for the people that are not meant to come this round, we're just going to fade away in the background, kind of
like out of the picture
and away. And Frank has noticed it with his younger cousin. He had moved to Florida, and we're just going to kind of fade away in the background, I think.
Yeah, they didn't say goodbye or nothing.
They didn't say anything. They were just very rude about the whole thing.
They just kind of went off and did their thing. There'll be no time where I go and see you.
And there's going to be no time when you
no
ever
invitation
come to see
where
us.
I come there.
So
you're gone. But I love you. But naturally, well, you're like, Frank, they moved. And so, of course, there's a separation. No. There's this energetic and physical thing that's doing this.
Right.
Like we pulled the accordion apart.
Yeah, and we feel it. And it's weird because...
So one side's not aware of the other.
Yeah, it's almost like we're just going to be a distant memory one day.
The ones that go remember. So we will know, we will see. And then when whoever is not, when it's their turn to be ready to be seen,
they'll catch up then.
They'll catch up. So that's why everyone goes just whenever they're ready. Right. Which is why not everyone goes, because not everyone's on board. It's not their contract.
It's going to be a lot easier than we thought.
What happens to those who get hit by the tidal wave?
Right.
Metaphorically. What about those people? Well, they all die. Well, they were contracted to not be here for whatever reason. That was their contract. Maybe they were done with everything else and came back and had to suffer one out or something. I know that sounds like shit. It's not the greatest answer people want to hear, but think of what we're in. We're in a hologram.
Right.
Sorry. It's, it's the truth. It's not what we thought it was, but it's better than we ever thought it was. Have faith in that. Have faith in knowing it's, they were showing me my brother off in the distance, not knowing that I was just sitting in a field with Paula in front of the house, and nothing changed for me. Like it just happens. However, the occurrence happens. I was like, do I have to die to make the physically? They're like, no.
No, you just go on living.
So you just go on living. So apparently I went to this place with Paul. We got a place, right? We're sitting down in the field and I'm kind of like thinking of my brother. And then like, it felt like a year passed for me. And I was like, wow, in a year we got a lot done here. And then this being led me off into a room inside my house and said, okay, are you ready? Go in, and just led me in the room. And there was a portal open and my brother was on the other side and he was sitting all upset. He was completely gray and it was many years for him. And I was like, hey, what's up? And then I just walked in the room and he's like, what's up? I'm like, what's the matter? You don't fucking recognize your brother? And he's like, my brother. He didn't know who I was. And then it started, oh shit, Frank, where the fuck have you been? It's been years since, what's going on here? And I'm like, yeah, it's your turn. You're ready to go. Like you hit your, and now let's go. And I just pull him through the portal. I don't know if that's metaphorical or if that's literally how it happens, or if there's a version of that happens and whatever happens. And
right.
I can't tell you that part. I can't tell you. I could just tell you what I'm seeing and what I'm being shown. And I know a lot of times there's overtones for a whole bunch of different symbolic reasons for everything that goes off. You know, Della heard me talking last week about the tick tock with my father. And she's like, yo, that clock you're hearing is not his tick tock. That's yours. You're going to bounce. And so you have to do what you have to do.
I keep telling you.
Before we leave.
I keep telling you.
Before we leave. Literally the last thing. So I got off the phone with Della today and Joe, right? And she was like, the TikTok is yours, not his. Mm-hmm. So I went, oh, shit. So I text Dad. And he texts me back. I let him know. I remember it's his fucking birthday. Oh, you can't see it at all.
Let me see. I'm going to read it.
I just let him know it was his birthday month. Happy birthday. You know, sending you positive vibes. Love you, man. Whatever. And he responded back. Oh, shit, I can't believe you remembered. Oh, yeah, of course I remembered my dad's birthday, you fucking dummy. All right. No more waiting. Right? No more rules. The rules are off. You feel like you're good with doing something and it's good and you're not hurting anyone, and use your discernment and just go for it. Remember, you could choose not to say anything and just do your thing, right? And just make it work. And then present it to the world. By the time you're done and it's went from seed to spot of flower and the fruit, it's already there on display. You don't have to wait and start it now. Right? What happened? Yeah, so the end of this year is revving up. Well, I can't read and discuss the last part of the show, so I'm just going to, I'll let you laugh it out.
No, Joe
ladies.
is laughing because Joe said you knew too.
Well,
about your dad, because I keep telling you that piece.
Oh no, yeah, they already said Paul. She was doing from an outsider's perspective, like, yeah, Paul is going to be like, I've been telling you this the whole time, but from the outside view, hearing you talk, I just knew instantly that that's you you're talking about, not your father. Mm-hmm. You're thinking it's him, though. See, this once again, it's perspective. Where are you looking from? I'm looking at him like, oh, this motherfucker might die, getting old and getting sick, and move on that way. And I have to hurry up before something like that happens to him. And meanwhile, I'm also moving.
You can't move until that piece is done.
Yeah, and I can't go anywhere until
it doesn't fit in the bag. Can't go. Doesn't fit in the backpack.
This is exactly 100% what she's been saying and what they've been saying.
Right.
So shout outs to all of you that have been saying, because I'm listening.
Right. Can't go.
I'm fucking listening and I'm going for it.
So what day
I'm going for it. I didn't get to that point.
What day
yet.
we having cake and coffee?
Let's not push the fucking lever too far, because the ship can only handle so much.
I can't wait till that Saturday.
We might as well just have him on the fucking show.
Yeah. Well.
I'll be like, look what old me could look like. And just look over at him. From one old Billy goat to the next.
Oh, don't do that.
No, I'll bring him on air and I'll go, so ladies and gentlemen, you wanted proof. I've been to the future and I found future me and I brought him back, and then just drag him in the frame and go, hey, how you doing? And have him talk. You guys would be like, are you fucking kidding me? That's him. I would be like, no. Yeah. Anyway, so do your version of that. Get it done. Do it. Get everything done. Start the change immediately. Get ahead. One foot in front of the other. Don't jump steps. It's an alphabet. Do it in order, right? If the instructions say go from this to this to this, don't look at everything spread out all over the table. Just start with, oh, silver, one piece.
Right.
Done. In case the lights go out, I need a flashlight. I got a flashlight. It's reliable. It works and so done.
Water.
I need water, fresh, clean water. Let me get the water thing this
Cash.
month. Done. Every one of those steps is a positive direction immediately. And that fucking $10 you're sitting on, like it's gonna fucking, like grandma gave you, it's sitting in a fucking old card or something in your piggy bank, that stupid change with no change shortage going on. Go invest in your future a little bit. Do something good for yourself. And you know what? I'll tell you what. I'm not going to pull one of these, but etherically, if it doesn't work out, come fight me. I'm right here. It's not like I'm going anywhere. If I was wrong, you guys could all point fingers at me and make me walk naked up the block, scream shame at me, all right? Ain't going to happen.
Oh, does someone get to ring a bell and walk behind you?
You could have Paula
No, I would never do
with the fucking hood on, ringing the bell,
No.
right?
I
While
wouldn't do that.
Sister Stabile marches me up the street naked while you all yell shame at me. If one of these many things I told you tonight do not work out, they're going to work. One of them's going to work.
Remember,
Many are going to work in your favor.
This is Frankie's go time. He hasn't been wrong about
I haven't been wrong about pedophiles and lizards eating kids, so I'm not going to be wrong about this. It's not about it being wrong, or it's obvious now. It's the obvious choice, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right? It's a 1 or a 0. You kind of pick and choose it's Coke or Pepsi, this or that, right? Well, this is the moment, light or dark. What are you going to be? I have both in me, but I'm going to choose to be protected. I'm ready. Whatever, grow your own shit, start growing, right? Grow your own fucking mushrooms. Who gives a fuck, right? Sorry. I am so sorry. But who gives a fuck? Really? Like, grow them. Do it. You want ayahuasca? Right? Look up online if you're feeling jumpy, make it. Find someone really close to you. Come pay a visit. Say, can I stop by and say hi? Right? Watch what occurs. Watch how your life changes the minute you're like, I'm going to structure this shit up. Fuck this, man. Dudes, I'm like buying action figures. Right? I love Wolverine, right? So I have Wolverine right here, right?
I feel like
I bought claws. The figure was 20 and the claws cost me 15 to make it, because they're real. They're actual claws. You get stabby, ouch. Okay. And I love it. And I put it here. Okay. If I did not have all of these into place, I could not say to myself and enjoy something like this, which is ridiculous considering the time of the world we're in, that this costs more than this, but by the end of this year, this is going to be worth 100 of these fucking guys. Makes no sense, right? The upside down.
By the end of the year, that'll be worth maybe
double, right?
5 of them.
5 of them. All right. So I exaggerated a little bit, but I'm excited.
4 of them.
In the next 10 years, your future it'll be good. Okay. Allowing you to feel comfortable enough to buy your Wolverine, to buy your guitar, to buy your motorcycle, we live here, right? Okay. Gasara Nasara. I totally believe in it. I believe that your social security number is your concentration camp number. I don't give a fuck what anyone says or the way she looks at me when I can't tell what's going on, but I believe that's your number. And then they walking us through it in a different style, but it's the same exact thing. Well, that's worth something since they've been buying, trading, and selling you your whole life. Since they tax tax, and then they tax you again. Then when I die, I give you the money. They tax the money going to you. Wait. Right, when I get out of work, you've already taxed this money. Right. Then I go to take it out because I'm disabled and I'm retired. They tax it again. Then at the end of the year, I got to pay taxes. What the fuck is going on here? Okay, all that money is ours. None of it went to fixing anything. None of it went to doing anything. None of it helped.
Some of it went to the queen.
Oh, by the way, it goes to the queen. Didn't we fight a war about that? Yeah, fuck her. Fuck you. Right?
Nick will send you links where to buy silver.
The queen could kiss my fucking monkey butt. Okay, the big red pucker up. fucking lizard lips, and fucking bah! Get up in there. Sorry. I can't stand royalty like that. Unless it's Black Panther, I don't give a shit. You know what I'm saying?
That's cool royalty. Though.
That's fucking cool. Yeah. When you're like, oh, and he's like, oh,
yeah,
no,
there's no bowing.
We don't do that
I
yet.
like that.
We're all in charge.
Don't do that.
Sorry about that explosive. I didn't mean to do that. Where can one buy silver today?
Yeah, there's a lot
Golden
of places.
State Mint is good.
Yeah, Ampex.
Ampex.
What is that? MNC?
MCM.
Oh, MCM.
Wait a second. Nick, I'll put some stuff up on my page. I'll silvershield.com. I love those guys. I got Shiva coins from them. Right? So they have all different kinds, shapes, sizes. Watch when you buy. If you decide to buy on like eBay or Amazon, you got to really fucking be careful with that shit. You can buy anything on eBay and Amazon for the most part directly from them at their website, or on Amazon or on eBay at their stores if they have them, like MCM,
right?
Golden Statement. They all have stores on Amazon and eBay, so you can see it's them. So it just works. Like you couldn't use PayPal to buy silver unless you went on eBay, and people are like, yo, watch eBay. I'm like, it's the same store. It's them.
It's them.
It's them. And they send you the certificate and everything. So they can take eBay through there. When you order up on the credit card from their website, there's a plus 3%. If you're hooked into Amazon or eBay, that's removed. So sometimes you pay like 70 cents cheaper. Sometimes it's more expensive when you're buying it from a collector who's like the silver guys, right? They're like collectors that buy in bulk from these guys and then upcharge you like $3 more, and then they sell it, but they're trustworthy. So then you can buy collections from people like that. They're trusted. But I'd buy a silver tester. It's a little thing. You could do a little scratch on the end of the coin. You get to test it with the acid test, keep the paperwork, and then look, we could get hit with a meteor tomorrow. You could get scammed online. My mother orders everything off every ad on Facebook. I saw her with that back scrubber thing. I said, I just saw that ad the other day with the fucking muscle guy can't reach his back. Oh, da, 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 da. I go, you could buy that for $4 from China online on eBay. How much did you pay for that? She was like, I paid $20 for this. Why? You can't scratch your back. You got the back. You literally have the thing to scrub your back in the shower. Shut up, Frank. I go, oh, you're a compulsive buyer. You just press the button, right? Everything you're seeing on there is fake. You could just move over to eBay or Amazon and get it 100% cheaper. Just keep that in mind as you're watching people argue it. Remember, I ordered lightsabers that time, right?
No.
And then they sent me toy lightsabers, and I lost my shit.
I gave them to the kids for their birthday. They were this big.
Yeah, but the ad was Luke Skywalker, and then the really cool looking fake lightsabers and shit. And so I ordered them. I'm like, oh, I'll get one in every color and everything for this price. And I got it like 2 months later, and they were like toy ones. And when I tried to argue the point, they were like, did you get, so the company did send you lightsabers? I go, no, they sent me these toys for 4-year-olds. They're like, well, a lightsaber is a toy for a 4-year-old pretty much. I go, no. If you see the ad's like men that to flick the switch and the lightsaber goes off and shit, not this flicky, bitchy plastic shit. And they go, sorry, can't help you. You have to send it back to them. And it was already 3 months had passed. And PayPal's like, well, we're not going to fucking work with you because we're scumbags too. So I'm like, oh, okay, I get it. So it's all, remember, everybody goes and has their moment where they think the email from the guy that's a prince, a royal prince that's trying to escape and send you money to get back money, and then you'll be rich and he'll make you rich, and he's from Kenya and he's going to come to the United States because he's the king of Bamba, and you're going to fucking make money with him and do that's all fake. But when they send you the check in the mail, you'll go, wow, that shit looks real. I think I'm going to try to cash it at the bank. Don't. It's a scam and a trick to fuck you up bad. That's it. Use discernment. Go with love. Fucking Space Jesus loves you. Shout outs to Aaron and Zach. Expanded Understanding's not on the air tonight, but love them anyway, and go over there and watch a couple of their episodes and all the other episodes of the wonderful people that are on their channel. They're fantastic. I love all of them. I love all of you. If you have questions, comments, just hit me up. I'm available now. You can see the energy's high. We're working really
You're not
tight.
available now this week because you're in.
Yeah, I got sessions this week, ceremonies.
So listen, slow your roll with the emails and the messages, please, because he's not going to be able to get back to you.
Yeah, don't get angry if I can't respond immediately.
Because he's in session the whole week.
Monday
he's got
through
a split
Thursday.
time between the couple that's coming and his mother, and then I have to
Paula.
figure out. Well, I have to split. I don't know.
We're all just splitting.
Yeah, we're gonna have to figure it out.
This is why I make multiples of myself.
Don't even say that joking. Don't even say that he's joking.
What's the password?
We don't remember. We got screwed.
You better call Richie Johnson
time.
if that happens. He knows the password.
That your password with him.
That's right.
That's not. I know your password with him.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, I do.
Oh,
I do. It's that stupid word. I know that, and I don't remember our password.
It's a phrase.
I think our password was Farfignugan, but you say it's not.
I think that's just too cheesy that we would have picked Farfignugan. Who the fuck is Farfignugan? I think you're fucking bugging. I don't even know this, Paula. Who are you and what did you do with her? Get off my. Oh, you're so lucky. Once this camera goes off, that's it. It's testing which timeline this fucking girl is from. You gotta check up on this shit and look, see what I gotta deal with. You see the shit I gotta go through. I know when she fucking, it's not her. I gotta go timeline jumping and find my fucking wife.
It was me the whole. It was me the whole time now, and now you're gonna tell people you don't know. Oh, okay,
I'm just playing.
Okay.
I'm just showing you though. It can be really intense sometimes around here.
Yeah, I know it's horror. Yeah, I know. It's an absolute.
Shout outs to all the Leos. We love you so much.
It's an absolute nightmare. Yeah.
The struggle's real, ladies and gentlemen. The struggle is real.
For who, I ask? For who is the struggle real?
Thank you, Willow, so much.
Thank you. Love you. And Willow, keep stuff in your cart and don't purchase till the next day, because that's what I do. Late at night, I just keep it all in the cart, and then I go, save for later, save for later, save for later.
I do the same thing, actually. Do
you really?
Yeah, I just did that before the show. I found this
really?
Japanese outfits that I like, and I didn't get to show you yet. So after the show, I'll show you. They have American sizes, but it only goes up to extra large. So I'm a little nervous to order, but I wanted to show you first. So I just saved them all.
Are
in
they
my
like
cart.
the shorts?
I'm not even going to get into it. You got to see, because I think you would appreciate it.
Really?
Yeah. That's why I was like,
they like
shit.
genie pants?
Yeah, but because of the boots and the thing, I'm looking at my styles changing.
Oh, okay. So you're going for a more Batman themed
Batman
winter gear.
We love you, Willow.
Okay, love you, Willow.
Haska-san.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Love you so much. Sending you most positive vibes. I'm crying right now.
I know.
I was crying at the end of the show. It's hard to let you go.
Day. Ellen, bring me fudge. Love you.
Take care of yourselves.
Yeah, take care. We're here. Just
don't let this pedophile shit ruin your day to the point
I
where
got
you're
a little
like losing
sick
your
today
shit.
over it, and
just step away from it.
You gotta step away from it. You know, you can pray, you
know
can
it's
send
real.
out love. Just don't,
As it gets
don't
worse,
get involved, because I did, and I felt like heavy in my heart.
Yeah, you don't want to connect to it. Just be
I
compassionate.
did connect a little too much, and I had to pull my energy out. I really did.
Pull back, because the true test is, can you sit in you and have optimum timeline and not be involved with this on any level?
Yeah,
no
it's
politics.
Hard. It's hard.
We can talk
but
about it.
Yeah,
Trump.
You can do it.
Biden's a pedophile. Whatever. Okay, fine. Whatever. On that surface, but if we start arguing about it, you got to back off 100%. I can't tell you the truth is we got to just walk away from that and kind of go in another direction. Yo, the Spider-Man game is awesome. You know, let's go eat mushrooms and meditate.
Yeah,
let's go smoke a blunt and talk about.
It hit me a little hard.
Something else.
It did. I'm going to admit it. It did.
Because the true character has got to be disattached from all of it, including Trump and the victory of the light and the this and the that. The victory of the light is the victory within yourself. If you all right, so self-responsibility, if we all just level up internally and do the right thing, that's how you handle your business.
It's enough.
If everyone just said no and didn't buy their product that one day, it's like, well, how do you get everyone to do that? Well, you got to do the same exact thing with the level up, so you can spiral up and out, as Ra would say, to walk up those steps and let it go, to walk through the eye of the storm. You can't be carrying the backpack full of weight. You
No.
can't do it. You can't roll the boulder up the hill.
No.
It's tiring.
No.
Right? So you get to just, okay, enough. I'm done. And then make your moves. Okay? I believe in you. Okay? And I love you. And I love you, Paula.
No,
And I believe in you.
Hey, stop looking at
Sexy
my-
mama. No, she's wearing shorts. I told her, if I ever was a kid and looked out my window and saw you in the backyard planting, I'd be like, hey, Mrs. Milo. Hey.
Stop.
My mother would be like, are you looking at the girl again? I'd be like, she's barely wearing anything. Don't look. She's a...
Stop.
Okay.
Stop.
All right. So go off, celebrate yourself, do something good for you, do something nice for someone else, and then celebrate it. Enjoy yourself. See you next week through this weird 2020. We'll all be upgraded and be different people by then. Imagine that. By
Oh
the
my
time
God, I
see you
can't even
next week, You'll
imagine.
be a different person.
You will too.
I'm going to be completely different.
Me
You're not
too.
even going to know who I am.
Oh, I don't know who you are.
I'm checking you as soon as we get off air. I just can't show them how I check you, so it's all good. All right, love you guys. Stay fearless, everyone, and remember, the universe rewards bravery. Peace.